Braves taking the Texas Rangers. Braves on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 841. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish feed on Internet 870. 7:40 p.m. Kansas City Royals taking the Baltimore Orioles. Royals on Sirius 138, XM 182, and Internet 851. Orioles on Internet 842.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
Minnesota Twins manager Rocco Baldelli was on SiriusXM MLB Network Radio's Power Alley to talk about and give an update on Carlos Correa's oblique strain injury that he suffered during an 8-2 loss to the Detroit Tigers.
It looks to be a mild, and we're calling it an intercostal strain. Okay. It does seem to be more on the mild side. Now, with stuff like that, we know even though something's mild, it still could be, a matter of couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, but who knows? We're going to probably have to wait until all of the symptoms are gone to actually have a better idea of the time frame. But it's not a severe strain. It's not even a moderate strain. So that was definitely positive. We knew he was feeling something, so we assumed we'd see something on the testing. So he's our quarterback on the field. He's the guy that really almost everything we do when we're out there, it almost all goes through him in one way or another. He's a great communicator and leader. We never want to see him out. But right now we're going to, mix a lot of the Willie Castros and the Farmers and all these guys in at that shortstop spot and let those guys go do their job until Correa comes back.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, SiriusXM 86, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Friday, April the 19th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 2:20 p.m. Chicago Cubs take on the Miami Marlins. Cubs on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 844. Marlins on Internet 854. 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Boston Red Sox. Pirates on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 861. Red Sox on Internet 843. 6:40 p.m. Philadelphia Phillies take on the Chicago White Sox. Phillies on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 860. White Sox on Internet 845. 6:40 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the LA Angels. Reds on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 846. Angels on Internet 852. 6:45 p.m. Washington Nationals take on the Houston Astros. Nationals on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 869. Astros on Internet 850. 7:05 p.m. New York Yankees take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Yankees on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 858. Rays on Internet 866. 7:10 p.m. Cleveland Guardians take on the Oakland A's. Guardians on Sirius 119.
Major League Baseball play-by-play is now on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app. Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game.
It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet.
Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam in the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play. Oh, my.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd. Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collected minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
The ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio. Right now on Sirius XM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play.
4.
Get up! Get up!
3.
Can you believe it? Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. My goodness.
Major League Baseball play-by-play is now on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy basketball to getting you ready for the NFL Draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
How you manage your team day in and day out will be the difference in where you finish in 2024.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
This is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and host of the Sirius XM original podcast, Black Diamonds. Hear stories about the legends of the Negro Leagues and conversations with the all-time greats they've influenced, like 5-time World Series champion Derek Jeter.
I don't care what race you are. You need to know your past. This is U.S. history. It's not just baseball history.
Hear over 70 episodes of the award-winning Black Diamonds podcast, available now on the Sirius XM app or wherever you get your podcast.
Get ready for the 2024 NFL Draft on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Touchdown, Caleb Williams.
Catch exclusive interviews with the top prospects as they begin their journey to the NFL. And hear pick-by-pick coverage of the 2024 Draft from Detroit.
With the first pick, the Chicago Bears select.
Your home for the 2024 NFL Draft is Sirius XM NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Harry Kane finishes off the game.
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
We're talking college basketball on ACC Today.
Great run for NC State men's basketball. The story of this team is one I don't think anybody will forget.
They were able to accomplish a lot. They captured the hearts and the minds of the nation. DJ Burns became an absolute star nationally. I love it.
ACC Today, weekdays from 8 to 11 a.m. Eastern. ACC Radio, Channel 371, and the Sirius XM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
Slams the ball to right field. Way back. Way gone.
Is Toronto Blue Jays Baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw. In time.
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A trip to the West Coast. The Blue Jays have touched down in San Diego to take on the Padres for the first of a 3-game series at Petco Park. Both teams entered today, having won 3 straight series. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Maybe keep the coffee flowing throughout. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host. Nick Blackmore is our producer. And Tom Young is our technical director. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Saskatoon and Swift Current, Saskatchewan. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Tonight, Yariel Rodriguez takes his high heat and high spin slider on the road for the first time in his major league career. His opponent, though, is a complete opposite in terms of spin. Part-time knuckleballer Matt Waldron pitches for Padres in what should be a fun one. Stay with us for First Pitch next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming on the Sportsnet app, sportsnet.ca, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. Let's go, we're back on the track Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Geico 500 from Talladega Superspeedway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
Hi, this is Alexa. Did you know you can listen to this game on devices with Amazon Alexa? Download the Sirius XM app. Then tell me to play the Blue Jays on Sirius XM.
Welcome back to Toronto Blue Jays baseball. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. 9:40 first pitch between the Blue Jays and the San Diego Padres in San Diego at Petco Park. It'll be the first road start for Yariel Rodriguez after an impressive but brief debut at home against Colorado. To learn a little bit more about what we should expect to see from Rodriguez today, Blake Murphy asked Caitlin McGrath on Jays Talk Plus to describe the expectations for Rodriguez's start. Here it is.
What are you looking for in his second time out? First time out was a lot of energy and positivity, and that seems to be, maybe it's more energy and intensity than positivities day to day with Yariel. But what are you looking for his second time?
Well, it's going to be probably a tougher challenge. Obviously, with due respect to the Rockies, they're not one of the top teams in the major leagues, and the Padres are a team that, they're off to a pretty good start. They're a really interesting team. They've got a lot of really talented people on their team, and so I think, and it's a road game too, so that's always a challenge. So I'm interested to see how he attacks the Padres, how he goes about it, how his stuff plays in a different environment against a new team. But he does, it's one of those things where not all rookie pitchers are similar. Yeah. He's a rookie technically, of course. This is his first season, but obviously he has a ton of experience. He's pitched in Cuba. He's pitched in international tournaments, in the WBC. He's pitched in Japan. And so he's been a closer, I think, in Japan, or at least a high-leverage reliever in Japan. And so he's had a ton of experience. And so I think that that's going to be to his advantage, and that, I think John Schneider said something along the lines of, yes, he's kind of new in the majors, but he's well-traveled in baseball, basically. And so that's one thing I think that he can sort of lean on is that, again, tougher lineup, different atmosphere, but certainly things that he's probably experienced before, whether it's somewhere where he's pitching in Japan, whether it's an international tournament, all that kind of stuff. So, I'm interested to just see what he can do. It's the Blue Jays are in a position right now where they're kind of balancing short-term, returns on him, because if he's pitching well, and he was pitching really well in AAA, it's like you want those outs in the major league, especially when you consider that he's going to be on some pitch limit this year, given that he didn't pitch last year professionally. And so you want to use all those bullets so to speak, at the major league level if he can help you win. But also you have to think long term. This is a guy that they signed to a multi-year deal. This is a guy that they could be part of their rotation of the future. And so you want to make sure you're treating him carefully this year. You don't want to overexert him. You don't want to overextend him. And so it's really interesting, like, how they're going to balance it. It's not really a question we have to answer now, but maybe in a couple of weeks from now, like Manoah might be ready, we're going to have to consider how do they use Yariel Rodriguez. But for now, he gets to start. I'm very interested to see how he handles that second start of his career.
That was Caitlin McGrath with Blake Murphy, host of Jays Talk Plus on the Sportsnet Radio Network, talking about Yariel Rodriguez. He'll get the start today. Before we get to the game, I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Let's take a look at the Bet365 standings update. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Some games in action right now, but the Yankees currently leading the division at 13-6. Baltimore 12-6, half a game back. Tampa Bay Rays, who are actually playing the Yankees right now, 11-9, 2.5 back. And then the Blue Jays and Red Sox tied. Blue Jays are 10-9, and the Red Sox are 11-10. So the Blue Jays get a slight edge on win percentage. Red Sox did already wrap up a win today. That's a look at the standings. Let's go over to the lineup with my friend Chris LaRue.
Thanks, Ben. Here's the starting lineup for the Toronto Blue Jays. Leading off is Bo Bichette. He'll play shortstop. At first base is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. batting second. Justin Turner will bat third in DH. At second base, cleaning up, is Davis Schneider. Dalton Varsho bats fifth and will be in left field. Behind the plate is Danny Jansen. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh and playing right field is Kevin Biggio. At third base is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. He'll bat eighth. And in center field batting ninth is Kevin Kiermaier. On the mound is Yariel Rodriguez. And for the San Diego Padres, leading off and playing second is Xander Bogaerts. Fernando Tatis Jr. is in right field batting second. Batting third and playing first base is Jake Cronenworth. In the cleanup spot is Manny Machado. He'll DH. Jurickson Profar will bat fifth and play left field. At shortstop batting sixth is Ha-Seong Kim. Jackson Merrill will bat seventh and play center field. At third base batting eighth is Tyler Wade. And behind the plate batting ninth is Kyle Higashioka. On the mound is the knuckleballer Matt Waldron.
Padres on the field right now getting loose. They're in their City Connect uniforms today. So it's a white jersey, but it's got a lot of neon colors going around it. I'm not going to try and tackle all of them as a colorblind broadcaster right here, but it's a lot of neon. Blue Jays in their road uniforms. Bo Bichette is going to lead off in the first inning, and the first inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Just a couple of moments away from first pitch, but before we get there, Chris, Yariel Rodriguez, electric in his first outing. What are you looking out for here in the second one?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me was just kind of expand on his repertoire a little bit. When he was in Japan, and for the most part in his career, he's been a late inning leverage guy, and you kind of lean on two pitches, maybe 2.5, maybe 3. And as a starting pitcher in the major leagues, you have to have, I would say, at least 3 good pitches. One that goes arm side, and then probably 2 that kind of go glove side. I want to see him pitch backwards. I said this after his last start. He was great, but I want to see him pitch backwards, be able to flip an off-speed pitch in 2-0, maybe 1-0. And that's kind of where he is. I just want to see him pitch backwards and kind of learn how to pitch.
Rodriguez, a lot of fastball slider the last time we saw him. It'll be Matt Waldron first, though, the right-handed knuckleballer, maybe better described as a part-time knuckleballer. I'll get to that in a second. He takes a breath. Bichette into the box. Into the wind, Waldron's pitch. Fastball called inside, ball 1. Time of the first pitch today, 9:40. Bichette leading off, 227 average, the 1-0. Knuckleball misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. 17 Celsius in San Diego at the time of the first pitch. Some streaks of sunlight across the field. 2-0 to Bo. Bounce to third base softly. Charging in its Wade. His long throw over to first is caught for the first out. So when I say he's a part-time knuckleballer, While Matt Waldron throws the knuckleball more than any other pitch he throws, he's no Tim Wakefield in terms of throwing it all the time, or maybe a Phil Niekro. He's going to mix in a fastball that's in the low 90s and has a breaking ball and a cutter as well. So it's not necessarily your typical knuckleballer that leans on it a lot. First pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is that knuckler inside, ball 1.
And you'll see, just like that first at-bat against Bo Bichette, he'll mix in that 88 to 92 mile-an-hour fastball, and it really gets on guys.
1 down, nobody on, no score, top 1, the pitch. Check swing tapper, started foul, is hooking a little bit toward the fair side again, but it's picked up by the third baseman Wade. 1-1.
Yeah, kind of hit that grass lip in foul territory and then made a right and started going into fair territory again.
Tyler Wade decided to put a stop to that over at third. Guerrero had taken off just in case.
Yeah, those uniforms are wild.
Yeah, so what? There's yellow, pink, green.
Do you want me to tell you what they are?
Please. 6'2" righty gets into the wind. Waldron's 1-1. Is hit in the air to right field. Tatis giving it a look. It'll slice out of play. 1-2 on the foul ball.
There's a teal hat with a pink SD.
Okay.
Pink sleeves, white jersey, pink and teal San Diego. Actually, one sleeve is teal, one sleeve is pink.
The 1-2. Inside, 2-2.
I've had enough of this.
and then so it's teal and pink on the San Diego, but on the back, his last name is in yellow, if I'm not mistaken. And the numbers are in pink?
Like hot pink.
Yeah, oh yeah. 2-2 to Vlad. Popped up, middle of the diamond. Third baseman Wade sprinting toward the mound, calls off the pitcher and the first baseman, and makes the catch. 2 down.
It's interesting to see the type of swings that Matt Waldron gets from his other pitches other than his knuckleball, because he has a below average fastball, probably a below average slider, and all of his other pitches are pretty below average, but he gets really bad swings on those pitches because you have to have the knuckleball in the back of your head.
Waldron's first pitch to Justin Turner. Fastball down and away, 1-0. Balls and strikes tonight being called by Junior Valentine. Ramon DeJesus umpires first. Adrian Johnson at second. Derek Thomas man's third. 2 outs and the bases empty. No score, top of the first. The 1-0. Low with the heater again. 2 balls, no strikes. For Waldron, he seems to be leaning more into that knuckleball this year than last year. Maybe trying to get those other pitches to play up. Throwing it almost 10% more this season. 2-0 to Turner. Hit in the air to center field. Going back to the wall is Merrill. He'll leap, and he can't reel it in. It's out of here. The former Dodger punishes the Padres early. A first inning blast for Justin Turner, his second of the year. 1-0 Blue Jays.
And Justin Turner hits that mistake from Waldron, a fastball that was probably belt high, middle, and he just drills it into center field. That was a great piece of hitting.
Merrill got close to bringing that ball back in, but Turner hit it 404 feet, almost to dead center field. First pitch to Davis Schneider. High heats a ball. 1-0.
It almost looked like it went beside his glove in center field. It didn't go over it. It went beside it. He kind of misplayed it.
Merrill, a rookie out there in center field. 1-0 to Schneider. Down and away. That was the cutter. 2-0. We're getting another look right now.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it was a little to the side and a little over his glove. I think it looked a little less makeable of a play on second look. Waldron misses outside. It's 3-0. And the only strike he's thrown in the last 6 pitches was the Turner home run. 1-0 Blue Jays. 2 outs, bases empty. Top of the first. 3-0 to Schneider. Fastball at the top of the zone. Strike 1.
In Waldron's last start against the Dodgers on April 13th, he walked 4 guys. So you have to be patient against him.
did only give up 1 run, but the walk to strikeout isn't great for him. 3-1 pitch. Chopped to third base. Nice pick on the forehand side by Wade. He throws to first and ends the inning. Blue Jays get 1-on-1 hit, leave nobody on. It's Justin Turner's solo home run that has Toronto on top, 1-0. Middle of the first, Yariel Rodriguez next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. We're 2 men and a truck. And we've got lots of men and lots of trucks. Whether you're planning a move to a new home or to a new office down the hall, big or small, we move them all. We even sell packing and moving supplies. But no matter what you need, we'll do it with a smile. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. So when you're planning your next move, call 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
For this life I cannot change. Hidden hills, deep off in the main.
This is George Springer, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Shulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host, Nick Blackmore, our producer, and Tom Young, our technical director. 1-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the first. Yariel Rodriguez delivers his first pitch and misses low to Xander Bogaerts, 1-0. 1-0 Toronto. Home half of the first. Padres to bat for the first time. The 1-0. Fastball right down the middle. Strike one. For Rodriguez, there's a 4-seamer, a slider, a splitter, a sinker, and a curveball. The 1-1. Breaking ball hit well to left field. Varsho going back, curling toward left center. Continues to run, leaps, and he made the catch! Dalton Varsho with absolute robbery at the left field wall. Rodriguez takes his cap and points out to the left fielder. 1 down.
From my point of view, it looked like that ball was going out, and neither outfielder had a beat on it. Kevin Kiermaier kind of slowed up, and Dalton Varsho didn't. And he made an incredible play against that wall in left center. Wow.
He had to go a long way toward center field. First pitch misses outside to Fernando Tatis Jr. 1-0, 1-0 Blue Jays, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning. I don't know if that gets out, but it was pretty close. 1-0. Called strike.
I don't know who was more excited, Kevin Kiermaier or Yariel Rodriguez.
Kiermaier looked shocked as much as he was excited that that ball could be brought back in. An absolute missile from Bogaerts. Rodriguez with a hesitation, slow wind, and the 1-1. A little bit low.
And there's that Japanese style kind of slow pause leg kick that we saw in his first start.
Two-1 to Tatis. Swing and a miss at the slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And that's where he'll have to pitch if he's going to be successful, especially against a good lineup like this. 2-1 slider on the outside part of the plate. That was a great pitch right there.
A long pause again. The 2-2. Slider. Tatis started to offer but held back. Full count. Fernando Tatis, one of, if not the leader of this strong lineup for the Padres. 288 so far this year. 5 homers, 2 doubles, 13 driven in. 3-2. Bounced foul. will just make it to third base coach Tim Leeper, former Blue Jays first base coach, coaching third for the Padres. David Macias coaches over at first.
Tim Leeper. He was my coach on the national team.
Oh, yeah.
He's not Canadian, but he was my coach.
3-2. Fastball hit foul. The coaches don't have to be citizens.
I don't think the players have to be. Well,
it depends.
Well, Freddie Freeman's not Canadian, quote unquote, but his parents are. So I guess he has his passport. I don't know the rules. I don't know all that stuff.
Funky eligibility rules a little bit. 3-2. Spiked the slider, ball 4. Jansen's going to race after it as it hit off him and went to the backstop, but Tatis is not in a hurry. Walk in, taking off his shin guard. And did that ball get into the dugout? It might have. Hold up a second here. Tatis standing on first base for now. And I actually think something just fell out of the dugout and onto the field instead. Jansen was racing after that ball. It was headed toward the steps. And he dove on it and saved it off the line to keep it out of the dugout and prevent any sort of extra base there for the ball going out of play. So after the walk, a runner on first. But before we get there, Mike Schilt wants an explanation, the Padres manager, from Junior Valentine. He's heard what he needs to hear, and he's going back to the dugout.
I mean, he's probably about as confused as we are, but that was an incredible play from Danny Jansen, stopping that ball from going in the dugout.
Padres with a base runner, though. 1-0 Blue Jays. 1 out. Bottom of the first. Here's left-handed hitting Jake Cronenworth. First pitch heater for strike 1. By the way, on the Bogarts ball that Dalton Varsho caught to start this game, that was hit 411 feet. Would have been a homer in 24 ballparks, but not Petco Park, so they say it wouldn't have got out. From the stretch, the 0-1. Ground ball right side, stabbed by Guerrero, just foul. 0-2. We just mentioned Danny Jansen behind the plate and on the edge of the dugout if you need him to be. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first. Davis Schneider at second. Bo Bichette at short. IKF plays third. Varsho, Kiermaier, Biggio in the outfield, left to right. Spin and a throw over to first. Vladdy fell to the seat of his pants to catch that one. Didn't bounce. And Guerrero zips it back to Rodriguez. That was a quick move. He hadn't even come set yet. Stepped off and rifled it over. Rodriguez with a menacing stare into Jake Cronenworth. Comes set near his chin. Peeks at first and delivers. Called strike 3. That's the splitter from Rodriguez. Didn't see it a ton in his debut, but he uses it there to freeze Cronenworth for the second out.
Yeah, it doesn't. That one right there didn't have much movement. It looked a little bit like a changeup, but you can see that arm action is exactly like a fastball, and that's probably what messed up Cronenworth.
You mentioned the arm action. One thing about Rodriguez is for all of his pitches, there's almost a couple versions of them because he changes arm angles. First pitch to Manny Machado fouled off, 0-1. 2 outs, runner on first, 1-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the first. But Rodriguez will lower and higher his arm angle and change the way that the pitches are delivered and potentially move out of his hand.
I haven't seen really any sidearm pitches yet today, but he'll drop that maybe to like a
45 kind of
ish.
0-1. Machado pops it up, foul. Back of the plate, 0-2. Believe that was a splitter again. That one at 93 miles an hour. A deep fly out, a walk, and a strikeout so far. Rodriguez trying to send the Blue Jays back to the bats on top. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with the splitter. Machado chases below the zone, and 2 strikeouts for Rodriguez. And the bottom of the first. 1-0 Blue Jays headed to the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, it's Taylor. Welcome to SiriusXM Channel 13, Taylor's version.
Now for free in your car for a limited time through May 6th. And
it's finally here. My new album, The Tortured Poets Department, is out now.
listen beginning to end with continuous playback all weekend. Including Taylor's surprise drop, The Anthology.
I hope you love it. On Channel 13, Taylor's version.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Geico 500 from Talladega Superspeedway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yes.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription? What? Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and you're home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is SiriusXM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new SiriusXM app.
Radio Network.
Top of the second inning at Petco Park, the Blue Jays leading the Padres 1-0. Dalton Varsho leads off for Toronto. Matt Waldron pitching for the Padres. Here's the right-hander's first offering. Knuckleball drops in there, strike one. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Varsho already making a big impact on this game with a diving catch on the track in the bottom of the first. Next pitch is a cutter upstairs called ball one.
And he's really going to have to concentrate on not pulling off today just because Waldron's knuckleball is so good to lefties.
1-1. Fastball inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Well, Varsho is coming off a heck of a homestand. Hit 4 home runs in the 9 games the Blue Jays were at home. 2-1. Knuckleball lifted to shallow left. Sprinting in Profar. Kim, the shortstop, goes out and makes the play. Running catch a long way from Ha-Seong Kim, the Gold Glover last year as a utility player. And there's one down.
And Ha-Seong Kim is laughing, but that was a dangerous play. Profar running in from left field and Kim going out into that little no man's land between the 2 positions, and Kim sticks his glove out at the last second and makes a great play right in front of Profar.
1 down. Here's the pitch to Danny Jansen. Called strike 1.
Do you want to know why?
The funky jersey?
The funky jersey colors are what they are?
Teal, pink, neon green, or yellow, blue jersey. 0-1. Hit foul, 0-2. Yeah, give it to me.
The colors and designs and the font are a nod to the coastal community going from Oceanside to Imperial Beach to south of the border. The pink and yellow are also meant to accentuate the region's sunsets.
Jansen drives an 0-2 pitch to deep left center. That ball's way back, and it'll bounce and hit the wall. Jano heading into second base with his first hit and first extra base hit of the season. Well, you can see a lot of communities are represented on that jersey. I mean, that's a heck of a lot of colors that they have in one jersey.
And it's also a nod to San Diego's surf and skate culture. I think the font on the chest is a little bit skaterish. Yeah, Thrasher.
I can see that. Jano with the double, 1 out, 1-0 Blue Jays, top of the second. Here's Kevin Biggio, today's right fielder. Waldron from the stretch. Misses outside. That was a knuckler, 1-0. First time that Waldron has dealt from the stretch today, because the 1 run he's given up so far was a solo home run. Biggio batting .292 on the season, 3 doubles and a homer. 1-0. Swings and fouls back a cutter. 1 ball, 1 strike.
What skyline do you think is more beautiful at the ballpark? San Diego or Pittsburgh?
Oh, I have to go with Pittsburgh, but it's really close. It's really close. Petco Park is one of the great ballparks in all of Major League Baseball, and San Diego's a great city. A look back at Jansen in the 1-1. Knuckleball way outside, 2-1.
That thing moves all over the place. Now I can see why he did walk those 4 guys against the Dodgers in his last game. It's almost like he has to start that thing right down the middle for it to be a pitch on the outside corner.
2-1. Inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. And against a guy like Cavan Biggio, who tries to control the zone so much, you're not going to get him to chase at a ton of those pitches.
No, Cavan actually looks very comfortable right now, and he's seen a bunch of pitches.
Runner on second, 1 out. It's Jansen on the base paths right now. 3-1. No, it's going to be a kick up and turnaround. Waldron won't throw over. "27 pitches already for Waldron. 1 out, top of the second. A look at Jansen and his 28th pitch. Hit well down the right field line. Hooking foul, but into the second deck, way down there. Biggio squared up a mistake cutter, but just pulled it too much.
Yeah, I guess Cavan was just waiting for his pitch. He was waiting for a mistake from Waldron, and he got one. And he didn't miss it. He just was out in front just a little bit.
Perhaps looking for the 90-mile-per-hour fastball. Here's the 3-2. Way outside, ball 4. Missed that time with a breaking ball. Biggio walks, and there are 2 on with 1 out. 1-0 Blue Jays, top of the second. The second inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Kyle Higashioka steps in front of the plate for a moment, signals to his defense, and now gets back in a crouch. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is up with Biggio on first and Jansen on second. 1 down, 1-0 Blue Jays. Right on right pitch. Knuckler dropped in there, strike 1.
And Waldron hasn't thrown many really good knuckleballs tonight, but that one right there was a good one.
That looked like a fork ball or something. Yeah. Broke way to the right. In the set, fiddles with the ball in his glove, looks at Jansen, and here comes the 0-1. IKF gets it off the handle, lifts it to second base, infield fly rule, caught by Bogaerts anyway. There are 2 outs.
And again, that's just an average fastball, 90 miles an hour on the inner half, and IKF just gets manhandled by it on his hands. That's the effect of the knuckleball.
Waldron wasn't always a knuckleballer, picked it up in 2021, and he was actually a 2019 draft pick by Cleveland in the 18th round out of Nebraska. First pitch to Kevin Kiermaier, outside with the knuckler, 1-0. Now, it was a pitch that apparently he threw a lot as a kid. He's got a twin brother, Mike. They'd play catch, throw it to each other. 1-0 to Kiermaier. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes. But was a traditional pitcher, was a great pitcher in high school in Nebraska, won 3 straight state titles in Nebraska. This is a big baseball area. The College World Series takes place in Omaha. 2-0. Check swing, called strike. It was something that playing video games like MLB The Show, he would see guys throw knuckleballs. He loved it. Then didn't use it. After being traded in the Mike Clevenger deal in 2020, that also saw Josh Naylor and Cal Quantrill change teams, going from San Diego to Cleveland. 2-1. Kiermaier lines it to left center field, a base hit. Jansen off on contact. He's around third. It's bobbled in center field. And Biggio's coming to the plate. The relay throw bounces away. 2 runs in for the Blue Jays. Kevin Kiermaier's single and the bobble by Merrill have made it 3-0 Toronto.
And that's the kind of swing that we haven't seen very often this season from Kevin Kiermaier. That was a sinker down and away, and he just puts the barrel on it and hits a good line drive over the shortstop. Nice piece of hitting right there from Kiermaier. He's got to be pumped up about that.
They credit Kiermaier with a double on the play. That one did slice into left center field. He never stopped chugging. And Biggio was in a full sprint, when Carlos Fabulous made the wave to him. It would have been close if Higashioka picked that ball, but the relay throw bounced past him. Kiermaier on second, 2 outs top of the second. The pitch to Bo Bichette. Huge rip and a miss. 0-1. They don't assess an error to Merrill, so that is 2 RBIs for Kevin Kiermaier to get up to 4 on the year and his second double of the season. Bogarts holding on Kiermaier. Waldron's 0-1 to Bichette. Lifts it foul behind the plate. 0-2.
Kevin Biggio and Davis Schneider kind of talking about the knuckleball. You can see Kevin Biggio motioning how that knuckleball with his right hand is moving. A lot of guys, this is probably their first time facing a knuckleball, especially in the big leagues. You don't see it all that often.
Long looking in the 0-2. Hit on the ground, foul. Waldron debuted last year, and when he threw a knuckleball on June 24th, it was the first time since 2021 that anyone had thrown a knuckleball in the majors. He had to go to Mickey Janis, who pitched for Baltimore. There was Stephen Wright for the Red Sox. He made an all-star game, was good for a handful of years. And then it's R.A. Dickey and Tim Wakefield. 0-2. Knuckleball smoked to left field, but it hooks foul. Another second deck foul ball. Biggio had one earlier. Bichette caught a knuckler there that he liked, but was out in front.
Yeah, Bo Bichette was right on that knuckleball. He was just a little bit out in front, just a hair, and smoked it into that upper deck there in foul territory. But yeah, he just missed that thing.
The 0-2 again. Outside, 1-2. Waldron in his 4th start came into it with a 3.14 ERA, but struggling now. 3-0 Blue Jays, 2 down top second. The 1-2 is off the handle, rolled up the middle. Bogarts charges, gloves it over the bag, pumps, and throws late. Bichette in there safe. It's like Bogarts didn't have a grip or something. He went to throw and stopped, and then had to throw on his second attempt.
Well, he was a little bit nonchalant coming to get that ball. He knows Bo Bichette has a little bit of speed. He should definitely be targeting that ball a little bit faster. But then he tried to take that ball out of his glove, and he almost had a knuckleball grip, and he double clutched and didn't get Bo at first base.
Going to be a meeting on the mound now. Infielders there as well. You don't see that a lot from Xander Bogaerts. They have moved him off second base, but I mean, this is a guy who played a very good shortstop for the Boston Red Sox for a number of years.
Yeah, I mean, he's a defensive-minded guy, obviously a great bat, but you just don't see that very often from him, especially just the approach. The approach was really slow. It's almost like he thought he had more time than he did, but he's a guy that should know that Bo Bichette is running and he has to hurry up.
They give Bichette a single on the play, by the way. Kiermaier moved from second to third. So in this inning where the Blue Jays have already scored 2, they have runners on the corners and 2 outs for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
I actually like this matchup. I think Bo versus the knuckleball, or sorry, Vlad versus the knuckleball. That's a very good matchup. If he can stay back, take a good swing, look for that knuckleball up in the zone, belt high, drive it the other way.
A lot of fiddling in the glove for Waldron, who kicks and fires. First pitch is lifted to shallow center. That's going to drop in front of Merrill for a base hit. Kiermaier is in to score. Bichette all the way around to third. Not a big drive from Guerrero, who's shaking his right hand. He got stung on that one, but it's an RBI single, and it's 4-0 Blue Jays.
Not the big fly that I was talking about, but I guarantee that Vlad will take that. The RBI, the single, just drops it right in center field.
Vlad up to 9 RBIs on the year, second to only Justin Turner on the team. And the Blue Jays have 4 hits this inning. It started with 2 hard-hit doubles, some weaker hit singles more recently, and here comes Justin Turner to a chorus of boos. First pitch, checks his swing. The knuckler, though, moved into the zone at the last second. Strike 1.
Yeah, that was a tough pitch right there.
Turner started the scoring, home run in the first. 4-0 Blue Jays. First and third. Guerrero on first. Bichette on third. 2 outs, top of the second. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. That was foul tipped actually into the glove. Strike 2. On the first road trip, the Blue Jays only scored 7 runs in innings 1 to 3. That was a 10-game trip. They have 4 runs here, and we're not out of the second inning yet. The 0-2. Check swing on a pitch away. Appeal down to first. No swing, says Ramon de Jesus. And Turner stays alive. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, the crowd didn't like that call, but I don't think he swung.
The crowd doesn't like Justin Turner.
Yeah, no, that wasn't even close watching the replay.
Heated Padres-Dodgers rivalry out on the West Coast. The 1-2. Turner lines the ball to center. That's down for a base hit. Bichette will jog home. Guerrero up to second. It's another hit and another RBI for Turner, and it's 5-0 Toronto.
Well, we've said this before, but Justin Turner loves the elevated fastball, and that fastball was up around the letters, and he kind of just tomahawks it. He chops down at it and drills that baseball into center field. What a nice piece of hitting.
Turner had a couple slower days by his standards so far this year in the Yankee series. Don't think you need to worry about that now. He is 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Team leading 11th RBI on the season. Here comes Davis Schneider. First and second, 2 outs. 5-0 Toronto. Top of the second. A turn and a look at Guerrero, who jogs back to first.
It's almost like JT thrives when the opposing crowd boos him.
Well, when you play for the Dodgers for a while, you get booed a fair amount. The pitch to Schneider. Missed low with the knuckler, 1-0. Schneider is the 9th Blue Jay to come up this inning. Waldron's thrown 47 pitches, and Johnny Brito is loosening up in the pen. One of the guys who competed for this last starting spot with Waldron in the spring and is a long relief option for the Padres. Higashioka out from behind the plate to give some signs. Back at his position now. 4 runs this inning for Toronto. 2 on base for Schneider with 2 down. And the 1-0. Outside, ball 2. Schneider hitting .211 after his ground out in the first. 2 homers, 8 RBIs. 3 or 4 practice swings. Hoists the bat above his right shoulder. The 2-0. High fly ball, center field, hangs up. Merrill gets under it and makes the catch to end the inning. The Blue Jays, though, score 4. They come up with 5 hits. They leave 2 on, and they lead 5-0 middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
At the core, we are the same. Our games have grown differently, but here we celebrate our similarities. Join us for Cricket Night at the Park, presented by TD. Find your seats at bluejays.com.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He dives, and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We are less than 2 weeks away from growing the first millionaire of the season. The amazing April jackpot is over $1.4 million and could be double by the end of the draw. Join in on the excitement by getting your tickets at bluejays.com/5050 in Ontario or Nova Scotia. Yariel Rodriguez misses low in the first pitch of the bottom of the second. 1-0 count, Rodriguez against Jurickson Profar. 5-0 the Blue Jays lead in San Diego. 4-run top half of the second. The 1-0. In there, strike one. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Chris LaRue. Rodriguez in his second start in his major league career. Right-hander gets into the line from the first base side and his 20th pitch of the game. Swing and a miss on the splitter, 1-2.
And there's that good split again. We've seen it up to 93. I think that one was 88. It had a lot more depth to it, a lot more downward action. I like that one better.
Trying to retire the .299 hitter in Profar. 1-2. High fastball, Profar lays off. Second stint with the Padres for Jurickson Profar, a switch hitter who bats left. Off to a good start. 13 RBIs. Has come up with 8 extra base hits so far. 2-2. Smoke to center field. That'll get down in right center. It's going to be cut off by Biggio. Profar with a wide turn. Heading back to first base now with a leadoff single. The Padres with a leadoff hit. Profar on first. 5-0 Toronto. No outs bottom of the second. What do you think run support like that can do for not necessarily the youngest pitcher in the 27-year-old Rodriguez, but an inexperienced major league pitcher in Rodriguez, having this kind of cushion?
Well, it gives you a little bit of breathing room, so obviously you have a little bit of confidence from it.
First pitch to Ha-Sung Kim, taken outside by the right-handed hitter, 1-0.
I think the biggest thing is there's a bigger margin for error now. You can really attack the zone. You don't have to kind of pick around the zone. Just throw that fastball, that good hard fastball down in the zone away, and you kind of let the Padres get themselves out.
Next pitch is a good fastball at the top and outer part of the zone for strike one.
But that's kind of the unwritten rule of baseball, is when your starting pitcher or a pitcher in general and your offense goes out there and scores 4, you go out there and you pound the strike zone and get
1-1, misses outside, 2-1.
And get as many swings as possible. You don't want to walk anybody. You don't want to kind of pick around that strike zone. You just want to throw good hard fastballs down in the zone and let the offense get themselves out.
And with a limited pitch count for Rodriguez, that becomes even more important. A peek at first, the 2-1. Low, 3 balls, 1 strike. Rodriguez threw 68 pitches in his last start. John Schneider said it could be something around 80 today for the right-hander. Only competitive action last year was just over 7 innings in the World Baseball Classic. 3-1. Fastball at the knees, strike 2. Kim had started his walk to first. He's going to keep it going for a little bit. I don't think the pitch clock resets for your feelings on the strike zone. He's got to hurry back into the box.
I also don't think that was that bad of a pitch. Number 1, it was a strike. And number 2, what are we doing?
He did get back into the box in time. And they love Ha-Sung Kim in San Diego. They were chanting his name when he came up. Runner on first, no outs. The pitch, Profar takes off, and it's grounded foul. Kim reaches for a pitch below the zone and taps it to the first base side.
I think you just pound the zone right here with the sinker. You're up 5-0 in the second inning. The last thing you want to do is walk this guy, maybe throw a curveball down in the zone. It doesn't matter. Just throw that sinker down in the strike zone. Let him hit a ground ball.
3-2 again. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Went with the slider, left it high, but Kim waves through it, 1 down.
I think he got a gift right there. That was a slider that was up and out of the strike zone, and Ha-Sung Kim swings through it. Probably thought that ball was going to drop back into the strike zone. It was a little bit of a backup slider, curveball. Yeah, you can see how upset he is with himself. Definitely shouldn't have swung at that.
Here's left-handed hitting Jackson Merrill. Rodriguez looks back and fires. Merrill fouls it off, 0-1. Jackson Merrill, the center fielder for the Padres on opening day. Today, he turned 21 years old, playing in his 22nd Major League game, and he's batted .333 so far. 1 homer, 8 driven in. The 0-1. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. You want some trivia?
Yes, I do.
All right, I'll give it to you in a sec. First, the runner on first. 1 out, 5-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the second. Rodriguez tucks the ball into his glove, brings it up from his belt to his chin. Deep breath, and the 1-1. Hit on the ground, right side, past the dive of Guerrero, and into right field. Profar around second. He'll get to third. Biggio setting it into second base, where Merrill slides in head first. That ball clipped off Guerrero and died in the outfield grass, and because of it, Merrill gets a short ground ball double.
That was such good base running from Merrill. Most base runners kind of would have stopped at first, been tentative going into second base, and he saw that ball was slowing down into right field, and he just took off around first base, diving headfirst into second base. What an exciting play for a player that really hasn't played much.
Jackson Merrill with the double, second and third, only 1 out. Here's Tyler Wade, longtime Yankee, spent time with the Angels and the Athletics, now in his first year with San Diego. And the umpires have come on to the field here. And Guerrero's glove has a problem right now. He's going to go get that sorted out. That gives me some time for trivia. So Jackson Merrill, I'm giving you one of the 3 answers already, is one of the 3 youngest players in baseball. And that ball actually, hold up on the trivia, Vlad dove, and it might have gone through his glove rather than tipped off his glove. Some might remember 2 years ago, a throw over to first base when the Blue Jays were in Seattle went through Guerrero's glove and cost the Blue Jays a game. They got swept in a 4-game series, and I believe that one broke through his glove again. He changes out a red and black glove for a blue one and is back at first base. Here's left-handed hitting Wade. Second and third, 1 down. First pitch, fastball at the knees. Strike 1.
That's some bad luck for Yariel Rodriguez, which should be runner on second, 2 outs, and now you have runners on second and third and 1 out just because of a broken glove.
Wade in limited action is driven in 4 this year, hitting .214. A 1 pitch, fouled off 0-2. So trivia. Jackson Merrill, he's one of the 3 youngest players in baseball. The other 2 share the same first name as him. One of them is obvious, the other one is not.
So Jackson Holiday.
There you go. I'll give you a sec here as Rodriguez gets set. 2 in scoring position, 1 down. 0-2 to left-handed hitting Tyler Wade. Lifted to left field, not very deep. Varsho runs in, makes the catch, and the runners have nowhere to go. Profar jabs, creeps down the line for a moment. Varsho's going to run all the way into the infield to make sure that Profar goes nowhere. 2 outs. Do you have the second? Do you want it?
I don't even know how to pronounce his last name.
Did you look it up?
Yeah.
All right. It's Jackson Churio.
There you go.
Of the Milwaukee Brewers, who they gave an extension to, kind of like, Scott Kingery or some other guys have gotten before he ever reached the majors. But I don't know what about the name Jackson has caught on.
Reggie,
it's possible. Although he played a decent amount before they were born. First pitch to Kyle Higashioka is high, ball 1.
Steven.
He was playing in that time. Second and third for the Padres. 2 outs, bottom of the second, 5-0 Toronto. Higashioka, the longtime Yankee catcher, swings at the 1-0 and misses 1-1.
And if Yariel Rodriguez is going to be an effective starter, those are the kind of pitches he has to throw. Behind in the count, 1-0, and then he just flips in a curveball there, and Higashioka swings right through it.
Higashioka, a right-handed hitter with a 2-tone bat, 1-1. Beautiful breaking ball for strike 2. Threw it to the exact same spot.
Dropped his arm angle on that one, too.
Yeah, rather than mid-80s and a little side-to-side movement, that one a little more vertical, and it's 78 miles an hour. Trying to strand 2 runners. His 1-2. Popped up behind the plate. Jansen holding his mask, drops it behind him. That one will go about 6-7 rows back. Still 1-2 after the foul ball. First year in a Padres uniform for Kyle Higashioka. One of the many guys who went over to the Padres in the Juan Soto deal. Yankees had Jose Trevino. They had Ben Rortvedt, who they actually traded before the season. Austin Wells, 1-2. Bounced foul, hits the ground, hits the right shoulder of Higashioka, who will take a walk. And so the Yankees, who had gone to Higashioka a lot over the last couple years, just didn't really have a lot of room for him and sent him the other way in that deal.
Well, he had been with the Yankees. He was drafted by the New York Yankees at 21 years old. So he had been with the Yankees organization for probably 11, 12 years.
Even longer. 2008 pick. High 2-2.
Oh, he was out of high school?
Yeah, high school in California.
Wow. Well, I know he's from Huntington Beach. So he's probably happy with this situation.
I mean, he gets to play closer to home. Rodriguez is going to step off and shake his head. Danny Jansen working on the pitch comm right now. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Runners on second and third. It's 5-0 Blue Jays. And now the batter Higashioka asks for time.
So Higashioka was with the Yankees organization for 14 years. 15, I guess.
Yeah, kind of 15.
15 years.
14 and a half.
That is such a long time.
Debuted in 2017. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Rodriguez with a huge fist pump with second and third and 1 out. He gets a short fly out and a strikeout to strand the pair of runners. Blue Jays take a 5-0 lead to the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Everywhere you look.
Hey, this is Eric Swanson. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Big time in a small town.
The third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Saskatoon and Swift Current, Saskatchewan. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. 5-0 Blue Jays, top of the third. Dalton Varsho leads off for Toronto. First pitch from Matt Waldron. Misses outside with the knuckleball, 1-0. Varsho actually led off last inning as well. Popped up to shortstop. A long run by Ha-Sung Kim into shallow left field. 1-0. In the dirt, 2 balls, no strikes. Blue Jays sent all 9 to the plate last inning, though. Scored 4 runs. That's why they're up 5-0 right now. 2-0 count, and the right on left pitch. A knuckler outside, maybe a little bit high. 3 balls, no strikes.
A really good take there. Dalton Varsho is obviously locked in. He was a statue on that 2-0 pitch there. Great take.
We'll see if he has the green light now. Waldron waits and delivers the 3-0. Fastball over the plate, strike 1. Didn't look like he had the green light.
He was also a statue on that one.
Yeah. Varsho open in his stance. Slight waggle of the bat. The 3-1. Smokes the ball to right. Hooking. Foul. That one may be the closest of all the fastballs that have been demolished into foul territory. That's maybe 10 or 15 feet from being a home run.
Yeah, Dalton was right on that fastball. I mean, that fastball was middle, belt high, and Dalton did not miss it. Just a hair out in front.
3-2 pitch called, strike 3. Knuckleball just barely clipped the top of the zone. Not sure Varsho really could do anything with that pitch. He's down for Waldron's first strikeout of the game.
Well, Dalton actually grabbed his bat like he was about to throw it and then realized that he was being rung up on that pitch. It was a good frame from Higashioka. Caught it deep around his chest so that ball had the chance to travel and drop. Good job by Kyle Higashioka.
First pitch to Danny Jansen. Low ball 1. Higashioka getting a second straight start. He's actually been behind Luis Camposano a lot, but Mike Schilte talked about how he likes Higashioka catching the knuckleball. 1-0. Fastball in there, strike 1. Danny Jansen's 1 for 1 with a double and a run scored. He started that second inning, hitting a ball almost all the way to the wall in left center. 1-1. Missed outside with the sweeper slider. 2-1.
I'm trying to figure out if Higashioka actually has a different glove, but it doesn't look like it. You see a lot of catchers use that bigger glove when knuckleballers are throwing, but I think it looks like he has a normal one.
2-1 knuckler gets away from Higashioka inside. 3-1. He's Chris LaRue, by the way. I'm Ben Schulman. Show Ali, our host today. Nick Blackmore, our producer. Tom Young, our technical director. 1 down, nobody on. 3-1 count. 5-0 Blue Jays. Top of the third. The pitch to Jansen. Foul tip the fastball back into the glove. Full count.
Just blew that 91-mile-an-hour fastball right by him. And I'm telling you, it's that 91 seems like 98 when you see a good 73-mile-an-hour knuckleball.
A lot of movement in the glove. Waldron delivers. And that pitch is hit in the air to left center. Just in front of the track. Profar reaches to his left and makes the catch. 2 outs. 2 good swings, though, by Danny Jansen.
Yeah, that's good to see. In his first game, he was a little bit off. You could see he wasn't quite sure about certain pitches, but these first 2 swings that he's had in this game tonight, he seems locked in.
2 down, though, for the Blue Jays. Nobody on. 5-0. Road half of the third. Kevin Biggio hitting. Right on left pitch. Fastball in there, strike 1. Now the 0-1. Knuckleball in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Padres had someone warming up, Johnny Brito, last inning. Regardless of if Waldron gets through this one, it's going to be a short outing most likely. 1-1 to Biggio. Knuckler for strike 2. He's had to throw a lot of pitches so far, surrendering 6 hits already to the Blue Jays, plus a walk. His 65th of the day. High with the heater.
Well, I'm sure the Padres would love Waldron to go 5.
Yeah.
They would love that. They don't want him to tear their bullpen to shreds.
2-2 pitch off the end of the bat, foul. For today, the Padres do have an extra guy in the pen. They also had a day off yesterday because they just put Yu Darvish on the 15-day IL, and they called up Logan Gillespie, a reliever. That could change for tomorrow as there's no official scheduled starter for San Diego. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Biggio over top of the knucklers, strikes out, and Waldron has his first 1-2-3 inning of the day. Blue Jays up 5-0, middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sirius
SiriusXM NFL Radio revs up live coverage of the 2024 NFL Draft in Detroit, starting April 25th.
With the first pick, the Chicago Bears select
Pick-by-pick coverage of every round, instant analysis from our experts, and interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
I want to be a legend. I want to have a golden jacket.
Hear the 2024 NFL Draft.
Winning a Super Bowl. That's what matters.
On NFL Radio Channel 88 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into SiriusXM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' third national title.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Radio Network.
5-0 Blue Jays over the Padres on the road. First game of this three-game set. It's the bottom of the third inning and the top of the order for San Diego. Xander Bogaerts leads off. The pitch from Blue Jays starter Yariel Rodriguez. Fastball in there, 0-1. Bogaerts absolutely smoked the ball to left center field his first time up. Hit it 411 feet, but a leaping catch by Varsho turned it into an out. 0-1. Swing and a foul off, 0-2.
It was so good that not one but two Blue Jays fielders had both arms in the air.
Yariel Rodriguez, the pitcher. Kevin Kiermaier, who got the best view out in center field. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Gets him to expand on a fastball away. Fifth strikeout so far for Rodriguez. One down.
And Bogaerts had no business swinging at that pitch. That ball started off the plate and ended even further off the plate. Bogaerts obviously in a rut right now.
Hitting under 200 to start his second season with San Diego. Here's a career Padre, Fernando Tatis Jr., first pitch. Low ball one. And Tatis has modified his helmet. There's like green spray paint on the front of it. The 1-0. Swing and a foul back, 1-1.
That's pine tar.
That's pine tar. I mean, you're not going to escape the smell of pine tar in a dugout, but it's not like the greatest smelling thing to rub all over the helmet. The 1-1. Low 2-1. One out, base is empty. 5-0 Blue Jays. Bottom of the third.
Would you rather have pine tar all over your helmet like that or pine tar all over the back of your jersey like Justin Turner?
I'm going back of the jersey. 2-1. Tatis rides the ball to left field. Varsho runs out of room. It's gone. Solo home run for Fernando Tatis Jr., his sixth homer of the season, and the Padres are on the board. It's 5-1 Toronto.
Rodriguez just leaves that curveball over the middle of the plate, and you can't leave a pitch like that to a guy like Fernando Tatis Jr. He did not miss that pitch. A bullet to left field.
Tatis high-fiving with Manny Machado, Ha-Sung Kim, and stepping back into the dugout. The Padres have pulled off a ton of comebacks this season, including recently coming back from a 7-3 deficit early on against the Dodgers. First pitch to Jake Cronenworth, swing and a miss at the 12-6 curve, 0-1.
That was a slider that he hung, sorry, not a curveball. But hung it nonetheless.
5-1 Blue Jays over Padres. 1 out, bases empty, bottom 3. 0-1 to Jake Cronenworth, coming from right-hander Yariel Rodriguez. Hit foul left side, 0-2. Cronenworth, another career Padre, was actually drafted by the Rays in 2015 out of the University of Michigan in the 7th round, but was traded in December 2019 with Tommy Pham for Hunter Renfroe and 2 others to the Padres. Struck out his first time, the 0-2. Way high and outside. It's been a return to form this year for Cronenworth, who made back-to-back All-Star games in 2021 and 2022. Struggled last year, but has driven in 14 already this year. 1-2. Missed outside with the splitter. Rodriguez looking to bounce back from the solo home run. Steps back into the wind. Kicks up his left knee and fires. Slider hammered foul.
They're putting some good swings on that slider. First Fernando Tatis, and then now Cronenworth. Might want to start locating that thing down in the zone. Both those sliders have been belt high.
The Rockies only scored 1 run against Rodriguez in his 3 2/3 in his debut, but a lot of it, the offense came second time through the order. 2-2. Fastball bounced to second, picked up by Schneider, whips it across his body to first for the out. 2 down. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Home plate is home plans. Score the run with timbermart.ca. Find a major league selection of winning plays for house, garage, and backyard sheds. Visit timbermart.ca and win the game with Canada's Building Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Here's longtime Oriole and now longtime Padre Manny Machado up with 2 outs and the bases empty. 5-1 Blue Jays. Rodriguez steps back and delivers. Fastball called for strike 1.
What would be considered long time? Like 5+?
I think so. That's fair. And he's in his 6th year.
Yeah.
7 years with the Orioles. Half season with the Dodgers. 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Not like he was really a fixture for the Dodgers, but he did make that semi-rare move right from the Dodgers to the Padres. 1-1. Down low, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, I think at that time it was just rare that the Padres spent a lot of money on a free agent.
A ton of money on him. They've spent it twice. 2-1. Check swing on a pitch high, appeal down to first, no swing, 3 balls and 1 strike. They initially, in 2019, signed him to a 10-year, $300 million deal, although with an opt-out after year 5. The 3-1. Hit hard, but on one hop, it's stabbed by Bichette. He'll set his feet, throw over to first, and retire Machado. We'll talk more about him his next time up. It's San Diego getting on the board with Fernando Tatis Jr.'s solo home run. 5-1 Toronto after 3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Embrace the power. That is bold. And speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on SiriusXM.
Joseph, you got it. Wins the Indy 500.
The season rolls on Sunday afternoon at 3 Eastern with the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach.
That was sweet. Nice job, guys.
From the green to the checkers.
Flies under the twin checkers.
Hear every thrilling lap live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218, NBC Sports Audio Channel 85.
Alex Malone.
Thank you so much.
And on the all-new SiriusXM app. The most important person in sports is you, the fan.
Let me tell you something. I'm a real fan.
And your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Sharing the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody!
This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and your home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is SiriusXM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
The fourth inning is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Hawaii's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa leads off. Top of the fourth, 5-1 Blue Jays. Matt Waldron with his first pitch of the inning misses outside with a fastball, 1-0. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. We'll get to the out-of-town scores coming up in a sec. 1-0 pitch is away again. 2 balls and no strikes. Waldron with a deep breath. His 70th pitch of the day. Fouled off the front foot by IKF. That was a knuckleball to make it 2-1.
Is it just me, or do the Blue Jays uniforms look boring
Compared
next to the Padres uniforms?
I mean, they're wearing the road grays. I don't know that gray is like the flashiest color. These Padres uniforms I like, but I wouldn't like all the time. I actually love their regular jerseys right now. They went back to the old style. The 2-1. Popped up behind the plate, out of play, 2-2.
They, of course, have the camo ones that are...
Large military presence in San Diego, of course. Two-two. Way high with the knuckler, ball 3. IKF with 2 taps to the plate. Waves around his bat, takes a practice swing, waves it around one more time, and hoists it above his right shoulder. 3-2 pitch. Lifted to center. Merrill jogging toward right center, reaches down, makes the catch. 1 out. Let's look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every plate at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. First, it's Kevin Kiermaier hitting 1-for-1 with a 2-run double. The pitch. Called strike 1. A lot of finals with the teams in the Blue Jays division, the AL East, because everyone else not playing on the West Coast like the Blue Jays are. A 1-pitch bounces, 1-1. Start in Kansas City, where the Blue Jays will go next. Kind of a good news, bad news situation. The Kansas City Royals dominate the Baltimore Orioles. They win 9-4, 1-1. Called strike 2. MJ Melendez with 2 hits, a homer, and 4 RBIs in that game. Kiermaier rolls over the 1-2 pitch, sends it to first. Cronenworth picks it up, steps on the bag, 2 down. Elsewhere on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Boston Red Sox annihilated the Pittsburgh Pirates today. 8-1 was the final score. 4 homers hit by the Red Sox. Abreu, Refsnyder, Casas, and Rafaela all went deep. Here's Bo Bichette, 1-for-2 with a single and a run scored. 2 down, nobody on, top of the 4th. First pitch fouled off the face of Junior Valentine, the home plate umpire. Takes his mask off, but says, I'm good. Walks out from in front of the plate, throws a baseball. Higashioka almost stepped in his way from getting back to his position just to make sure the umpire's all right.
And then slapped him in the chest a few times. Probably said, don't worry about me, youngster. Although he might be younger than Higashioka.
Does appear that he's all right, though, and he'll get ready to go for the 0-1. Swing and a foul off. Bichette spinning, almost falling over. It's 1-2. Last AL East matchup on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Yankees hosting the Rays. The 0-2. Inside, ball one. Rays were leading 1-0 going to the bottom of the 7th when the Yankees exploded for 5 runs that inning. And the big one was a 3-run homer by Juan Soto. Yankees win 5-3 on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 5-1 Toronto in the 4th. 1-2 to Bichette. Hit in the air, right center field. Merrill tracking it down, makes the catch and ends the inning. Waldron has retired 7 in a row, but the Blue Jays still lead middle of the 4th. It's 5-1 Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit ConnexOntario.ca.
Hey, this is Trevor Richards. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Nick Blackmore, our producer. Tom Young, our technical director. Show Ali, our host today. Blue Jays in San Diego leading 5-1. Yariel Rodriguez, the right-handed starter, getting set for his 4th inning of work. He'll face Jurickson Profar, the switch hitter, batting left to start it. Rodriguez into the wind, rears back and fires. Breaking ball hit foul, 0-1. Profar has one of the 3 Padres hits so far, led off the second with a single, was stranded on third base. 0-1. Smoked that one foul. A line shot down the right field line, 0-2. Profar's going to ask for time. Switch hitters in his 2nd stint with the Padres. He takes a couple half swings. Rodriguez shaking his head at the pitch, now into the line. Profar ready to. Long hesitation, the 0-2. Bounce to the right side, rolling up the first base line. It'll hook foul.
That was another splitter right there, a good splitter that kind of faded away. It didn't have the good downward tumbling action that he had on that 88-mile-an-hour one. That was at 91, a little bit harder, but it had a lot of good fade, and Profar just gets a piece of it.
Rodriguez breathing into a cup tan there. I mean, it's not cold in San Diego, but it's maybe a little bit chillier than usual.
I bet it's like, I'm not looking at the temperature. I bet it's like 12 or 13. It gets colder than you think.
The 0-2. Hit foul. A lot of hoodies around the ballpark.
I'm going to look.
Profar, the leadoff hitter. Rodriguez delivering his 65th of the day. And it's fouled off again. Good fight here from Profar, who's fouled off 3 straight 0-2 pitches.
It's 15 degrees right now. Would you be wearing a jacket if it was 15 degrees?
No, but I'm not from California.
That's true.
It's like when it snows in Florida, they close school for a day. 0-2 pitch. Another rocket foul down the right field line. Jurickson Profar, the batter, was first with the Padres after being traded from Oakland ahead of the 2020 season. Signed a 3-year deal with an opt-out and did opt out before 2023. 0-2. Another foul ball. So Profar opts out of his 3-year, $21 million deal. Signs with the Colorado Rockies for just a little bit over $7 million because the $321.7 a year. He signed for $7.75 million. Ends up being released by the Rockies in late August, picked up by the Padres late in the year. Now back with them for a second year of his second stint. 0-2. Down and away with the splitter. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Danny Jansen nodding his head. He liked that pitch. I would bury a slider here if I was him, or a fastball up. He hasn't really thrown something out of the zone yet.
The 1-2. High, just a little bit too high with the fastball.
You could see the target from Danny Jansen was elevated. It was probably about letter high. That fastball was about head high.
Jansen moves down and inside. The 2-2. Sliders swing and a miss. Strike 3. Missed his spot, but gets the strikeout anyway. The 6th of the day for Rodriguez, matching his debut start.
And there's that beautiful backup slider that we've seen so often major league hitters can't handle. He actually made Profar look silly on that, and that pitch barely moved. It was just a spinning cement mixer.
And missed his spot by what,
and missed his
3
spot.
feet?
Yeah.
Tried to go down and in, went up and away. The pitch to Ha-Sung Kim. Outside, ball 1. Mentioned the pitch count. That first ball to Kim, the 71st for Rodriguez, who John Schneider said before the game would get to around 80 today. The 1-0. Check swing. He went around. Kim holding his bat in the position. And it was a pretty clear swing, so I don't think he did himself any favors there, but it was a called strike for Valentine anyway. Or he called the pitch. Not a called strike, but he called the pitch anyway already. 1-1. Called strike that time, and it's 1-2.
I don't think Kim liked that call either.
That was a pretty good pitch, though. Right at the top and outer corner of the zone against the right-handed hitter, who's 0 for 1, struck out swinging in the second. Kim taps the plate. Just his hands on the bat a little bit. The 1-2. Bounce the splitter. No confirmation pregame, but you'd guess that Bowden Francis follows. Francis warming up right now, as is Trevor Richards. Two. Hit foul.
I'd like to see Bowden Francis get in this game, and I'm sure he will if the score stays the same. He's a guy that can be an effective major league. I still think he can be a good starter. Although we saw last year he was effective as a reliever, and we haven't really seen him since he was taken out of the starting rotation.
Next pitch. Down and in. Ball 3, full count.
But he's got that big fastball, and I'm sure it's going to be bigger in the bullpen. He's got that good split that he's been working on. I'm excited to see what he can do tonight.
Rodriguez's payoff pitch. Hit in the air to right. Biggio curling toward the foul line makes the catch. 2 down. And maybe it would be helpful for him, too, if Rodriguez can retire Jackson Merrill here and give Francis a fresh inning to start with.
Well, I think that might be why Trevor Richards is up. Trevor Richards will come into a messy inning, and Bowden Francis. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'm just thinking if I was the manager, that's kind of how I would do it.
First pitch to Merrill. Big curveball for strike 1. Jackson Merrill made a deal with the baseball gods before this game, by the way, because he had a double on a ground ball that went through the glove of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the second, was stranded at second that inning. 0-1. Outside, 1-1.
That should be an error. If it goes through somebody's glove.
But it quite literally went through his glove.
It did.
It should be an error on the equipment manufacturer. The 1-1. Fouled back 1-2. 2 outs, bases empty. 5-1 Blue Jays bottom 4.
You know who actually fixes gloves often is Voon Chung.
He's kind of a master of all trades.
Blue Jays athletic trainer.
Created the Danny Jansen backhand protection. Rodriguez with a super long hesitation. The 1-2. Missed outside with the splitter. Rodriguez stepped back there, and it looked like changed his pitch grip. I don't think he really did, but he ruffled his glove around while he was mid-wind and then missed outside. Here's the 2-2. Hot shot foul down the right field line.
Well, he seems like he enjoys messing with hitters. He has the pause at the top of his leg lift. He stepped back and kind of paused, messing with his glove. I don't know if he actually changed grips. He might have. He seems like the type of guy that can actually do that.
Just feels a bit unfair to Danny Jansen. Trying to end the 4th. 2-2 to Merrill. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A bounce off the mound from Rodriguez. 7 Ks in 4 innings. That might be his day, but it was another impressive one. He has the Blue Jays up 5-1 as we go to the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Flow. From your first heartbreak to your glow up. From low-rise jeans to high-rise dreams. 2000s R&B hits. SiriusXM's The Flow. Now on Channel 48 and in the SiriusXM app. Included in all trials and popular plans.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy basketball to getting you ready for the NFL Draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
How you manage your team day in and day out will be the difference in where you finish in 2024.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, Sean Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio's Power Alley every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
I got all the confidence in the world in Joe Romano. I've known him for a long time. I know his demeanor. And I always say, when you're talking about a closer giving up a couple runs in the 9th inning, it's just so much more magnified than a starting pitcher giving up a 2-run homer.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89 and the SXM app.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and your home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is Sirius XM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new Sirius XM app.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 5th inning, the Blue Jays on the West Coast, leading the San Diego Padres 5-1. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leads off for Toronto. Justin Turner and Davis Schneider to hit this inning as well. First pitch strike from Matt Waldron. Here's the 0-1. Oh my goodness, way sailed to the left. And that's 1-1.
Well, I said it during Vlad's last at bat. I like this matchup.
He's Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Vlad 1 for 2 with an RBI single. 1-1. Knuckleball lifted to the right side, foul territory. The first baseman Cronenworth way out there in right field, but that one will bounce into the seats. 1-2.
And that swing right there is the swing that I've been waiting for all game. He was right on it. The knuckleball was just up at the top of the zone, and Vlad just got underneath it and popped it foul. But that's the swing that I've been wanting to see for the last 5 innings.
Waldron gets his side into the wind. 1-2 to Vlad. Ground ball foul, fights off another knuckler.
You can see he's right on that knuckleball. Waldron should sneak a fastball inside right now. That's what I would do if I was him, but he is right on that knuckleball.
Waldron's day could be coming to a close soon. Action in the Padres pen. 1-2 again. Tried to sneak the fastball. Guerrero got enough of it, though, to foul it off to the left.
Yeah, Guerrero with that awkward swing, just trying to foul it off. But that was actually a really nice pitch. 91 on the inside part of the plate.
Vlad getting his grip on his 3-color bat. Red barrel, black handle, and then blue grip tape around the handle. 1-2. Takes the breaking ball away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tom Cosgrove, by the way, is the guy in the pen for the Padres, left-handed reliever. 2-2. Vladdy bounces another knuckleball foul. He hasn't looked super comfortable, but he has spoiled all these pitches, waiting for a Waldron mistake. Blue Jays up 5-1. The right-hander's 2-2. Guerrero lifts a fastball behind him out of play. Still 2-2.
He looked comfortable on that swing.
Yeah.
That was a good swing on a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. It was up and away, so not the ideal pitch for Vlad to be swinging at, but he just fouled it off.
Still a 2-ball, 2-strike count. The pitch. And Vlad inside outs it on the ground. It's rolling into right field, a base hit. Second hit for Guerrero that wasn't exactly pummeled. But if the name of the game is hit it where they ain't, he absolutely did that and won a 9-pitch battle for a leadoff single.
Yeah, no, Xander Bogaerts was shaded up the middle, closer to second base, so there was a big hole between first and second, and Vlad got fisted and kind of just dribbled it into right field. That was not hit hard at all.
You know what? Miguel Cabrera did it about 1,000 times. Here's Justin Turner, who's hit 2 balls hard today. 2 for 2 with a homer and an RBI single. The pitch. Turner takes downstairs. Ball 1. They are still letting him have it in his 3rd plate appearance. Turner's played 147 games against the Padres in his career. This is 148th, the team he's played the most. The 1-0. Popped it up. Back of second. Bogaerts backpedaling. Sprinting in Tatis. Makes the catch in shallow right center. 1 out. Let's peek over at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. NBA play-in action going on tonight. It's Sacramento and New Orleans battling for a spot in the playoffs. And early on, former Raptor Jonas Valanciunas is going off. 2 minutes into the 3rd quarter, he already has a double-double and leads the Pelicans in scoring with 14 points. 5-1 Blue Jays, top of the 5th. Runner on first, Davis Schneider up. Waldron from the stretch. Breaking ball hits the inside part of the zone. Strike 1.
Outside of the Raptors, who would you want to win?
It's a good question. Let me think on that for a second. Set from Waldron. And a turn and a throw over to first. Vlad dives back in safely. I'm probably just kind of in the camp of wanting the former Raptors to do well. Like, I don't know that the Indiana Pacers are really title contenders, but if Pascal Siakam won another title, I'd be happy for him. I'd say the same about OG Anunoby and the Knicks. The 0-1. Schneider went around on a fastball away, nothing in 2.
So you're not just like a random Lakers fan.
I'm not. I mean, my favorite non-Raptor as a kid was Chris Paul, but he's not exactly like a huge part of what the Golden State Warriors do at this point. 0-2 to Schneider. Down and away, ball 1. Do you have a team? Like, are you a Laker fan?
I have to be.
You have to
be? It's just in my face every single day, so I have to be a Lakers fan.
Tough for the Clippers. That's life, I guess.
Well, they're getting a new stadium.
Schneider at the plate, 1 out. Vlad on first. The 1-2. Lines a ball to the shortstop. It's caught by Kim. Decent contact by Schneider on a knuckler down and away, but he hit it right at Kim. Vladdy scrambled back to first. There are now 2 outs. Well, back to baseball in the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Former Blue Jays top prospect, dealt away in the R.A. Dickey deal, Travis d'Arnaud, had a monster day. Braves beat the Rangers 8-3. d'Arnaud homered 3 times, including a grand slam. Pitching change coming up for the Padres here with 2 outs and a runner on first. 5-1 Toronto, top of the 5th. For the first time today, let's go to our host, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. And before we check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, a reminder that we do have Jays Talk this evening. I will stick around solo tonight. Take your phone calls and text after the final out. 590-590, name and location. That is the People's Text line, and I will throw out the numbers to call after the final out for another edition of Jays Talk After Dark. The Stanley Cup playoffs are set, which is always very exciting. It all gets started on Saturday. Hurricanes at Islanders, Leafs at Bruins will kick us off tomorrow night. Canes Isles get going at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on the Sportsnet regional channels and Sportsnet 360 tomorrow night. Leafs Bruins will go at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sportsnet, CBC, and Omni Television. As always, for every single game during this playoff run, you'll be able to partake with Leafs Talk featuring JD Bunkus and Sam McKee. Justin Bourne will make appearances here and there, and the guys will be up and running on YouTube and Sportsnet Plus after every single game. On Sunday, we'll get Panthers Lightning, Rangers Capitals, Jets Avalanche, and Canucks Predators. So strap in for a busy playoff run for all of these teams, and you can also submit your online bracket at bracketchallenge.nhl.com. Blue Jays Baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue with the call of Jays Padres.
Thank you very much, Joe. Left-hander Tom Cosgrove enters the game. Runner on first for the Blue Jays is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 2 down, 5-1 Toronto, top of the 5th inning. Cosgrove, the southpaw, leads with his sweeper that he actually throws nearly 50% of the time, makes up the rest of his mix with a sinker and a four-seamer that he'll split almost evenly. He's going to come in with left-handed hitting Dalton Varsho coming up to the plate right now. Varsho is 0 for 2 today, although in the Blue Jays' last game, he hit 2 homers, including one off of a left-handed pitcher. We'll see what kind of success he has here. Varsho at the plate, open stance. Knees bent slightly. The pitch from the side armor is hit foul, 0-1. When Varsho homered off Caleb Ferguson against the Yankees, that was his first homer against a left-handed pitcher as a Blue Jay. You have to go all the way back to September 9th, 2022 when he hit one off Austin Gomber of Colorado. The 0-1. Slider, sweeper, misses outside. 1-1. And so you think you get a break here when the knuckleballer comes out, and all of a sudden a legit side-arming lefty is into the game in Cosgrove.
Well, the biggest thing for Dalton right now is to keep that front shoulder in, especially against lefties.
Swing and the miss. Swing and a miss on the high heat, 1-2.
And we've seen that over the last couple of days, over the last 3 or 4 games from Dalton. He's really trying to keep that front shoulder in, use the big part of the field, and that actually helps hitting against lefties for him.
1-2. Varsho hits the ball through the legs of the pitcher. Cosgrove, picked up by the shortstop Kim, throws to first and ends the inning. Leadoff single stranded. The Blue Jays go down scoreless in the top of the 5th, but they lead 5-1 as we go to the road half. Well, pardon me, the home half. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
They are among the greatest to ever play their sports.
Caitlin Clark is the all-time scoring leader.
They are legends and icons.
Larry Bird hit the shot with 2 seconds left. I don't know how he did it.
And you can hear them right now on the all-new Sirius XM app.
We are here with Iowa superstar Caitlin Clark.
I'm so focused on winning. It's never anything I ever take for granted.
Here comes Larry Bird, the Hall of Famer, and he just won Legend of the Year.
Legend of the Year, isn't that something?
For access to the game's greats, rely on the leader in sports audio. Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM.
Let's go,
We're back on the track Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Geico 500 from Talladega Superspeedway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Yeah.
Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into SiriusXM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' third national title.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
That Radio Network. Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host, and Jay's Talk host following the game. Nick Blackmore, our producer. Tom Young, our technical director. 5-1 Blue Jays, home half of the fifth. Padres have 8-9-1 coming up. Tyler Wade, Kyle Higashioka, and Xander Bogaerts will face a new pitcher. It's right-hander Bowden Francis into the game for his fourth appearance of the season, second one out of the pen. The tall right-hander Francis has to face a left-handed hitter to start in Wade. Francis gets into the wind, kicks his left knee and fires. Fastball hits a left field, right at Varsho, 1 out.
And for Bowden, that's kind of the start that he needs. Yes, that ball was hit relatively hard off the bat of Tyler Wade, but he got a quick out. It kind of gives you a confidence boost, and now you can go right after the next hitter.
Francis setting up that splitter grip before he gets into it. The pitch he added in spring training that he always sets up the grip for, adjusting to others in the glove if he has to. Second pitch of the outing goes to a new hitter, Kyle Higashioka. Fastball for strike one. Take a look at the injury report brought to you by Bergmanis Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count. Call Bergmanis Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Prira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. Next pitch is the overhand curve from Francis. It drops in strike two. He adjusts the cap. Not as full of a hat anymore after he cut all the hair off. 0-2. Curveball, poked foul, right side. On the injury report, we'll start with the guy who wasn't leading off the game for the Blue Jays today, George Springer. John Schneider said was not really feeling well. You could even hear in the voice of John Schneider that maybe he's a little bit sick. Or perhaps something going around a little bit in the Blue Jays clubhouse. 0-2. Curve freezes Higashioka. Strike three. Really nice pitch from Francis. 2 down.
And there's that big curve from Bowden. He threw some good fastballs in that at bat, down in the zone. He has that good downward angle because he's so tall. And then that big breaker kind of just freezes Higashioka, and he knows it, just wanders back to the dugout.
So 2 down, nobody on. Top of the order, it's Xander Bogaerts in his second year as a Padre. Right on right pitch. Over the head of Bogaerts, it was the curve, obviously not intentional. Bogaerts drops the bat as he ducks out of the way. 1-0. So by the way, on Springer, they did not commit either way to whether he was available off the bench tonight or not. They said they'll have to see how he feels. Chad Green had a lot reported about him after the last game for the Blue Jays. 1-0. Popped up behind the plate out of play, 1-1. Shoulder soreness kept him out of Wednesday's game when the Blue Jays may have used him in the 9th. Felt better yesterday, according to John Schneider. Again, they wouldn't commit to his availability today. Said he's going to throw, and they'll see how he feels. 1-1, fouled off 1-2. But maybe the most serious news, and I don't want to jump to any conclusions here, but Ricky Tiedemann has gone on the 7-day IL. Shai Davidi of Sportsnet reporting elbow discomfort. John Schneider said they had an MRI, haven't gotten the results yet. 1-2. Bogaerts takes the splitter inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on, 2 outs. Francis trying to go 1-2-3 in his first inning out of the pen. 5-1 Blue Jays, bottom 5, the 2-2. Fastball lifted to right, slicing toward foul territory. Biggio on the run, and it's just into the seats. A kid reached over the railing and made the catch, although not the railing into the field of play. There actually is a railing just ahead of that.
Yeah, Biggio had no play at that baseball, but that, I don't know, 12-year-old reached over the railing there, made an incredible play.
He had his arm on the railing. He did it like a pro.
Snow coned it a little bit.
He's getting mobbed right now down the right field line. 2-2 again to Bogaerts. Line drive, left field, foul ball, just barely.
Split finger, about belt high, middle. Bogaerts was kind of out in front. He wasn't expecting that pitch, but that pitch has to be down in the zone, even bury that pitch, especially to a guy like Xander Bogaerts.
I have to say, after the nice fan catch on the right side, a decent stop on the left side by the ball girl on a hot shot one hopper. That ball hit 91 off the bat. 2-2 breaking ball, grounded foul. Tim Leeper bobbles it at third, so he can't follow up the highlight reel plays. Former Blue Jays first base coach, coaching third for the Padres.
I have to say, Leap's beard is getting pretty white.
I kind of like the look that he's got going on, though. Two again. Fastball just a little bit outside, full count. Although Bogaerts is a very talented hitter, you want to challenge him because Fernando Tatis Jr. is on deck. 2 down, full count, 5-1 Blue Jays, home half of the fifth. Payoff pitch. Fastball, called strike 3. Bogaerts jumps in a 360, arms out at his side. Talking with Junior Valentine right now. He might have a case. That pitch looked low, but Francis gets the call and strikes out back-to-back hitters to end a 1-2-3 fifth. 5-1 Blue Jays headed to the sixth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
At the core, we are the same. Our games have grown differently, but here we celebrate our similarities. Join us for Cricket Night at the Park, presented by TD. Find your seats at bluejays.com.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Tuesdays on City TV.
Here we are in Canada, where Canada's about to celebrate our talent, our people.
It's the biggest season of Canada's Got Talent.
That was incredible. Incredible.
It's an absolute yes from me.
You, my friend, are undeniable.
This season will change a life.
This is the gateway to your dreams coming true.
Canada's Got Talent. All new Tuesdays, 8, 7 Central on City TV or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Jose Berrios, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the sixth inning at Petco Park, the Blue Jays leading the Padres 5-1 in the series opener. First pitch from Todd Cosgrove to Danny Jansen is lifted to shallow center. Merrill sprints in, stops, makes the catch. 1 down. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Blue Jays in San Diego for the first time since 2013.
I have to say, it's a good place to be. It's too bad that they haven't been there in 11 years.
Here's Cavan Biggio. 1 out, bases empty. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Sweeper hits the outside edge. Strike 1. Well, last time the Blue Jays were there, June 2nd, 2013, was a great game. 0-1. Sweeper in there, strike 2. Blue Jays won 7-4 in 11 innings. Came back from down 4-1. Some good names in that box score. 0-2. High ball 1. In the 11th inning, tied 4-4. Now MLB Network's Mark DeRosa hit a home run for the Blue Jays to give them the lead. Had an Emilio Bonifacio single and stolen base. 1-2 pitch low, 2-2.
I loved watching Bonnie play. He's such a fire starter.
His Blue Jays tenure was not the best moment of his career, but I think he had other really exciting seasons. 2-2. Biggio grounds the ball right side, foul. A dive at first by Cronenworth. It's just wide of the bag. And Cronenworth, who's returned to the lineup today after missing 2 games with a calf injury, a little bit slow to get up. But so you get in that game in 2013, it's DeRosa home run, Bonifacio single, he steals a base. Anthony Gose, who would later go on to become a pitcher after he was a position player at first for the Blue Jays, he gets a bunt single, and a run comes in to score on an error, and then guess who? Jose Bautista with a double to make it 7-4. The Blue Jays would go on to win. 2-2 to Biggio. Outside ball 3. And at least worth mentioning, I think, in the 11th inning when Aaron Loop was getting the save for the Blue Jays. Now, Athletics manager Mark Kotsay was the first batter. It was his final year in the majors. He was playing for the Padres. He grounded out to short. 3-2 to Biggio. Called strike 3. Beautiful front door sweeper. Just got the zone. And Cosgrove strikes out Biggio. 2 outs.
I like when you go down memory lane like that. Makes me feel very old.
Well, it's not that long ago. 2013.
Yeah, you were just in middle school. You were in middle school.
That was at one point a very exciting year for the Blue Jays. Made a big trade before that season. First pitch high and away to IKF, 1-0. Speaking of Mark Kotsay, his A's were not very fortunate today. Lost 10-2 to Cleveland on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 1-0 misses outside, 2-0. Josh Naylor hit a solo home run in that game, the Canadian. Bo Naylor scored twice in the game. 2-0 sweeper is in there for Cosgrove. 2-1, and it was 10-2 final. 5-run fifth for Cleveland to beat Oakland on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 2-1 to IKF. Called strike. IKF leaning back. It looked like a questionable call. It's 2-2. 5-1 Blue Jays. 2 down. Nobody on, top of the 6th. 4 of those runs came in the second inning. 2-2. Hit well. Left field. Going back Profar. Still on the run. Turns at the track and makes the catch. And flips the ball over his head into the crowd. Maybe 5 or 6 feet away from that wall. A loud flyout for IKF to end a 1-2-3 inning. Blue Jays up 5-1, middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hello, I'm James Corden, and I'm so thrilled for you to hear my show, This Life of Mine. Join me every week for incredible conversations and never-before-heard stories from the biggest stars in film, TV, fashion, music, sports, and more. Each week, we'll be talking about the people, the places, the possessions, music, and memories that have made them who they are today. This Life of Mine with me, James Corden. You can listen on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on Stars, Channel 109, or listen on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hello, Blue Jay fans. I'm Craig Ballard, host of your daily Locked On Blue Jays podcast. Locked On Blue Jays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On Blue Jays brings you the latest Blue Jays news and analysis and breaks down all of the action. Locked On Blue Jays is everything a Blue Jays fan could want, all in a 30-minute daily podcast. Download Locked On Blue Jays right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Blue Jays.
Scotty Scheffler, for the second time in 3 years, is the Masters champion.
The Masters tournament is over. Next up, the best players in the world head to Valhalla Golf Club for the PGA Championship.
Brooks Koepka is the winner of the 105th PGA Championship.
PGA Championship Radio returns this May on Channel 92 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the sixth in San Diego. Fernando Tatis Jr. leads off for the Padres. Blue Jays up 5-1. Bowden Francis in his second inning of work out of the pen winds up and fires. Curveball hit well to left field. Varsho on the run, slides, and he made the play. Somersaulting after he makes the catch. Second highlight reel catch in left for Varsho today.
It looked like that play was going to be a lot harder than it was. Varsho's so good with that first step. He's one of the best outfielders at yeah, he's so good. He makes hard plays look easy. That play should have been a lot harder than it was. And he got there and really didn't have to slide all that much.
It's kind of an awkward slide. Here's Jake Cronenworth. One out, base is empty. First pitch is high. 1-0. I know you're dabbling a little bit into the beautiful game, watching a little bit more soccer these days. That was kind of like, if you're familiar, Thierry Henry scores a goal, knee slide into the corner. I mean, a lot of guys do it, but his was pretty iconic. 1-0. Popped up foul out of play, 1-1.
So I have noticed that that's a celebration that a lot of guys do. Does that not rip up guys' knees?
I think the grass is like thicker, but I'm not your biggest soccer or football guy.
I thought you were.
I like it, but I'm not. Only have so much time in the day. 1-1. Breaking ball looped into center field, a base hit. In right center, it's picked up by Kiermaier. A spin and throw to second to keep Cronenworth at first. Runner on with one out. An iconic windup deserves an incredible bobblehead, so make sure you wind up at the ballpark early on Wednesday, May 22nd, as the giveaway is a Yusei Kikuchi bobblehead to the first 15,000 fans at the park. Head to bluejays.com/bobbleheads to purchase your ticket. I think it's safe to say, though, that like the knee slide is kind of like the bat flip. Like it's the base celebration for soccer. You get celebrations in that sport like nothing else. First pitch to Manny Machado. Curveball hit off the end of the bat to first. Picked up by Vlad. He turns, flips it back to Francis at first. Was going to be a tough play to get the lead runner at second because it was hit weakly. So Cronenworth will advance to second. There are now 2 down.
That was actually a great choice from Vlad. He could have tried to throw to second base. Maybe tried to get Cronenworth. But if you're leading 5-1, just get the out, get the sure thing at first base as Bowden Francis hurries over to first and takes that play. That was a good decision from Vlad.
And they weren't going to get the double play either way. That ball was just not hit hard enough. So now runner on second for Profar, 1 for 2. A single in the second, a strikeout in the fourth. First time facing Francis, it's a high fastball, 1-0. Profar from Curacao played in the 2013, 17, and 23 World Baseball Classic for the Netherlands. (1-0). Peter a little bit inside. 2 balls, no strikes.
Netherlands has always been a good baseball country, whether it's Curacao or whether it's actually people from Netherlands.
You get a little bit of Aruba in there as well. Xander Bogaerts has played for the Netherlands. 2-0. Smoked foul, 2-1. And great players have come from Curacao. Foremost is Andrew Jones, who hit over 400 home runs and was one of the great defensive center fielders around. But you even look right now between Profar, you got Ozzie Albies on Atlanta. Profar ahead, 2 balls, 1 strike. Francis looks at Cronenworth at second. One more peek in the pitch. Hit hard to right field, but lined right at Kevin Biggio for the 3rd out of the inning. Francis gets a little fortunate with 2 hard hit balls to the outfield, but a sliding catch by Varsho and a well-placed Biggio make it a scoreless inning. 1 hit for the Padres, 1 left on. We'll head to the 7th with Toronto up 5-1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
How can Blue Jays closer Jordan Romano improve on his already iconic entrance from the bullpen? Tim Meza and Eric Swanson had their own thoughts.
Hear me out. We shoot you out of a cannon. Picture this. Gate opens and you ride in on a moose. One word, roller skate. Super trendy right now.
Romano's thoughts?
I appreciate the ideas, but I got this.
On Monday, May 20th, the first 15,000 fans will get a Jordan Romano blue replica jersey. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
So that's a no on the moose?
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
George Springer has given the Blue Jays the lead once again.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Crown Rust Protection Blue Jays baseball continues. Top of the 7th inning, Kevin Kiermaier takes a strike from Tom Cosgrove, and we're underway. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Kiermaier 1 for 2 with a 2-run double back in the second. 0-1, swing and a miss. 0-2. Tough matchup for the left-handed hitting Kiermaier against a lefty sidearmer in Cosgrove.
And it seems like Kiermaier has had a lot of tough matchups with left-handed pitchers.
0-2. Down and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And he has looked awkward on a lot of them. He doesn't really love facing lefties. But the odd time you do see him have a comfortable at bat, he's always driving that baseball to the left side of the field.
1-2. He lofts the ball to left center. Merrill will call off the left fielder Profar and make the catch. 1 down. Let's take a look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard and go to Columbus, Ohio. Matchup in the International League, AAA, where the Columbus Clippers were taking on the Buffalo Bisons. We'll get to that in just a second, but Tom Cosgrove is being lifted out of the game with 1 out, nobody on. 5-1 Blue Jays, top of the 7th. Let's go back to today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. And before we check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, another reminder that we do have Jays Talk tonight whenever this one wraps up. I will stick around solo, and we'll take your phone calls, your texts after the final out. 590-590, name and location. That is the People's Text Line. You can text me right now if you want, and I will throw out the numbers to call after the final out. In the world of basketball, the playoffs officially start tomorrow in the NBA as the play-in tournament wraps up tonight. The Lakers and 76ers are already in as the 7 seeds in their respective conferences, and the 8 seeds decided tonight. The Heat bullied the Bulls in Miami. Miami winning 112-91, and for their troubles, they will be taking on the Celtics in the first round. The East's #1 seed. Kings at Pelicans is the final Western Conference play-in game. New Orleans is without Zion Williamson, but right now it doesn't seem to matter. The Pelicans up 90-77 on the Kings with 8.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The winner of this game will move on to play Canada's own Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Some news from the NFL that is not draft related, which is scheduled for next Thursday, but the Pagulas, the owners of the Buffalo Bills, are putting approximately 25% of the team up for sale, according to multiple reports. The firm that handled the record-breaking sale of the Broncos and the Commanders will be in charge of those transactions. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the action. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thanks so much, Joe. Right-hander Steven Kolick on the mound now for the Padres. A righty with a hard fastball, a cutter, and a sweeper to complement it. He'll come on in his 10th game of the season to face the top of the order for the Blue Jays. Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to bat. 1 out, top of the 7th inning, 5-1 Blue Jays. Bichette gripping the barrel and handle of his bat, stretches it over his head and behind his back, and now steps into the box. 2 taps to the plate. He's ready to go. Bo Bichette today 1 for 3. First pitch is off the handle, rolled just foul down the right field line. And it's 0-1.
And Kolek with a good hard fastball. That one was at 95, but it had a lot of run and came in right on Bo's hands. And that was a really awkward swing, almost a defensive swing, a swing you don't really see him take 0-0. But that just shows you how much run that fastball had.
That's the sinking fastball. As I mentioned, he'll cut his fastball. Very occasionally, he'll just throw a straight four-seamer. Righty sets just above his belt. 0-1. Bichette takes. Well, let's go back to that St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard as well. In Columbus, Columbus Clippers hosting the Buffalo Bisons. AAA action in the International League. 1-1 to Bo. Hits a ball down the right field line. Fair ball rolling into the corner. The grounder picked up by Tatis. Bo with a wide turn heads back to first. Tatis, the gold and platinum glover last year, doing a good job to prevent Bichette from a double, but now a 2-hit day for Bo.
It almost looked like Bo was trying to hit that little gap there between Jake Cronenworth, who was the first baseman. He was playing almost halfway between first and second. So there was a huge hole between first and Jake Cronenworth. And it looked like Bo was trying to hit that gap. I think he was. That kind of swing there, that inside out type of swing. And he just kind of dumps it down the right field line.
So Bichette taking a lead off first. The pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. In there, strike 1. Well, in Columbus for the Blue Jays AAA team today, we're going to get there. Alek Manoah made his 3rd rehab start. And it was his most impressive by far. 0-1. Flat fouls it off, 0-2. Manoah went 5 2/3 innings, did give up 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. And he gave up both of those runs in the first inning and pitched 4 2/3 scoreless after that. That's our look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. In San Diego, the Blue Jays up 5-1. Bichette on first, 1 out. Guerrero at the plate. 2-strike pitch. Down and away with the breaking ball, 1-2.
I have to admit, I did not see that game, but you were watching it on your computer.
Watch the back end.
I came in just as he was throwing his last pitch of that outing. You were watching it on your laptop, and I saw one slider, and it was the best slider I've seen of his in a year and a half.
Got a strikeout on it to end his outing. Turn and a throw to first. Bichette is back with a dive. No tag by Cronenworth.
It was sharp. It had good downward bite to it, just like it did in 2022. 2023 version of that slider was more horizontal, and it was more of a gradual slider than the sharp slider we saw in 22.
1-2, runner takes off, pitch inside, throw down to second, bounces in late. Bo Bichette swipes his 3rd bag of the season, and he's on second base now for Guerrero, who has 2 hits already today and now a 2-2 count. Yeah, Manoah really did look sharp. He was keeping that slider down. Bisons would go on to lose 8-3, but hey, all 3 runs driven in by Aurelvis Martinez, who homered twice in the game. Out of town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Bichette in scoring position, 5-1 Toronto. They haven't scored since the second. With 1 down, the 2-2 to Vlad. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got fooled by a high fastball, tried to hold up but couldn't. And there are 2 outs.
One more thought on Manoah. If I'm a big league all-star, a big league perennial Cy Young pitcher or award finalist, I need to go to AAA and I need to dominate. I'm not going to be happy with Alek Manoah and his growth.
First pitch to Turner, cut on and miss, strike 1.
Until I see him go 6 innings, 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs. That's what I want to see.
And that's fair. But at least I think you can say that this was a huge improvement over his previous outings, where he was like a run an inning almost. Bichette on second, 2 down. 5-1 Toronto, top 7. 0-1 to Turner. Check swing, roller to first, and it's picked up by Cronenworth. Turner, I think, thought that was foul, but Cronenworth picks it up, steps on the bag, and that will be the inning. Bichette with the lone single. He's stranded. No runs for the Blue Jays in the top of the 7th. We go to the 7th inning stretch. 5-1 Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza, and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
It's sports streaming season. This spring, get set for nonstop action on Sportsnet Plus.
Unbelievable.
Every electrifying game of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Did you see that?
All the knockout moments in UFC. Awe-inspiring action from the NBA playoffs. Plus, the Toronto Blue Jays are back in full swing.
We got it.
Catch all the can't-miss moments that matter most to you. Because when it happens in sports, it happens on Sportsnet Plus. Subscribe at sportsnetplus.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss. Eric Swanson strikes out the side.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bottom of the 7th inning, Blue Jays in San Diego opening up a 3-game set, and Ha-Seong Kim leads off for the Padres against Bowden Francis. Ha-Seong Kim chance going around Petco Park for the shortstop. Here's the pitch from Francis. Yanked the fastball outside, 1-0. Francis is having some pitch comm difficulty right now. But you can just hear the popularity of Kim throughout the ballpark. A guy who played 7 seasons in the KBO. Kim from South Korea won 3 Gold Gloves at shortstop in his last 3 years there. And then on New Year's Eve 2020 signed a 4-year, $28 million deal with the Padres, set to finish up this year. 1-0. Bounced. 2 balls, no strikes. Does have a mutual option for the 5th year.
I mean, he is a fun player to watch. I wouldn't imagine that 35,000 people would be chanting his name, but he's a fun player to watch.
Good defender. Fans like that. 2-0. Fastball a little bit inside. Looked like it might have grabbed the plate, but it's 3 balls, no strikes to Kim. And Kim has stepped up for them in some pretty big spots. 3-0. Low ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Kim to start the 7th.
That was the same fastball that he struck out Xander Bogaerts on.
John Schneider, after the leadoff walk by Francis, going out to the mound right now, and he'll make a call to the bullpen. So Bowden Francis comes out for the 7th, delivers 4 balls, and his day is done. With that, let's go back to our host today, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. And before we check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, one more reminder, and I see some text coming through right now, that I do have Jays Talk tonight, Jays Talk After Dark. You guys know I like to name my different editions of the post-game show. I will stick around solo today to take your phone calls and your text after the final out at Petco Park. 590-590, name and location is the People's Text line. Like I said, you can send those in right now. I will throw out the numbers to call for those of you still awake after the final out. Don't forget the Stanley Cup playoffs on that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard are set. It all gets started tomorrow. So the series we're going to get tomorrow, Hurricanes at Islanders and Leafs at Bruins. That'll kick us off tomorrow evening. Canes Isles, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. Those will be on the Sportsnet regional channels and Sportsnet 360 tomorrow night. Leafs Bruins will go at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sportsnet, CBC, and Omni Television. As always, for every single game during this playoff run, you'll be able to partake with Leafs Talk, featuring JD Bunkus and Sam McKee. Justin Bourne will join them during the playoffs. The guys will be up and running on YouTube and Sportsnet Plus after every single game. On Sunday, lots more to get to. Panthers Lightning, Rangers Capitals, Jets Avalanche, and Canucks Predators. So strap in for a busy playoff run for all of these teams. And you can also submit your online bracket at bracketchallenge.nhl.com. Blue Jays Baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue with the call of the game.
Thank you, Show. Tim Meza is coming on for the Blue Jays. The left-hander steps in, relieves Bowden Francis with nobody out, bottom of the 7th. After the walk to Kim, a runner on first, and the Blue Jays up 5-1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. It's a pair of left-handed hitters scheduled to hit right now for the Padres. Jackson Merrill definitely going to hit right now, and then you have Tyler Wade after him. That could be a spot that the Padres go to a pinch hitter, especially if Merrill reaches and they have a couple guys on base. But for now, Meza, the sinker slider lefty, coming in trying to bounce back from a tough appearance on Wednesday in the 9th inning against the Yankees.
Well, the biggest reason that he had a tough outing is because he was falling behind hitters, and then he had to come to Aaron Judge, who hit that double down the line to go ahead, and he just has to get ahead. He has to throw that good sinker down in the zone, bury that slider just like he did a couple years ago.
First pitch to Merrill is a fastball high, 1-0. 10th appearance, 11th of the season for Meza. ERA starts with 9 right now. 1-0. Hit in the air, center field, pretty deep. Kiermaier to left center, runs it down on the track. A long journey for Kevin Kiermaier. And he shows his value in center field once again, making that play to make it 1 out.
Well, that wasn't a bad pitch from Tim Meza. It was a good fastball down in the zone, and Merrill just goes down and gets it and golfs it in the left center. Kevin Kiermaier covering a lot of ground, running that ball down. Nice play.
Kiermaier went into deep left center for that ball that was struck at 100 miles an hour off the bat. Pinch hitter now coming in for the Padres. They do lift Tyler Wade. They'll bring in Eggy Rosario, a right-handed hitter, to go up against the left-handed pitcher Tim Meza. Pete Walker went out to the mound to discuss with Tim Meza. Danny Jansen having a final word, and now they're ready to go. Kiermaier, by the way, ran almost 100 feet to get to that ball. Got a good jump on it, made the play. That's why there's 1 out. There is the runner on first in Kim, who's a stolen base threat, has 4 this season. Rosario in his 16th game, batting .269 so far. The pitch. Swing and a miss at a sinker away, 0-1.
And that's exactly how he needs to attack Rosario. Sinkers away, throw that good fastball down in the zone away, and now bury a slider, or you can go back to that sinker away.
Left on right, 0-1. Popped up behind the plate, 0-2. Rosario, a 2015 international signing by the Padres out of the Dominican Republic. Debuted in 2022. Played just 7 games that year. And then looked like he had a good shot maybe to make the team in 23. And he broke his ankle in winter ball doing drills, not during a game. Didn't get his season started until a rehab appearance in June. Off the injured list officially in August and ended up playing in 11 games with the Padres. But broke camp this year for the first time, 0-2. Slider hit on the ground, down the left field line, foul.
Tim Meza tried to bury that slider there, but it was almost right down the middle. Down in the zone, but right down the middle. Rosario able to get a piece of it. If he was able to bury that back foot, Rosario would have swung right over that.
Blue Jays not messing around in this game, by the way. They're getting Jimmy Garcia loose, up 5-1. A runner on first, one out. 0-2 pitch. Rosario lines a fastball foul. 94 there for Tim Meza.
Yeah, he's starting to look like Tim Meza of old. He has the velocity is up. The slider is a little bit sharper. It's just the command in his last outing wasn't there. And that's why he didn't have the success that he wanted.
Meza's 0-2 again. Missed inside with the heater. Rosario jumps back out of the way. Danny Jansen, though, pumping his glove out to the pitcher. He liked the location.
That was a good location. Fastball in off the plate. When you're up in the count 0-2, you don't want to throw anything on the plate. You might maybe black, but that pitch there, that was about 2 or 3 balls off the plate. That was a good pitch.
Next one is a slider in the dirt. Snared by Jansen between his legs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On the Meza velocity, he was a little bit more 93, 94 last year. Started this year really low 90s. His average is creeping back up, though. It's getting around 92 right now. 2-2. Missed with the fastball low. Full count. Kyle Higashioka, the right-handed hitting catcher, on deck. It's a passionate fan base in San Diego. They want another comeback from the Padres. 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Beat him with a sinker on the outside edge, 2 down.
And that's where you have to throw that 3-2 pitch. Just throw a good fastball down in the zone with a little bit of run to it, and Rosario swings right through it. Don't mess around.
Meza's retired the first 2 he's seen. Now looking to finish the inning with Kyle Higashioka hitting. No, it's going to be a pinch hitter. Luis Campusano comes off the bench. Mentioned earlier he hadn't started 2 games in a row. He's made 15 of the starts at catcher for the Padres in this young season. Campusano, a .273 hitter this year. First pitch. Hit well down the right field line, slicing foul. 0-1.
Campusano actually has an odd setup. He sets up with holding the bat almost in front of his face. Almost like a samurai sword.
Yeah, he twirls it around a little bit. He's very open. Like he's not facing sideways from the pitcher. He's opened up a ton facing toward him. His hand's right in front of his eyes. 0-1. Called strike 2. Meza gets a break on a fastball that looked like it missed inside.
I have to say, I've seen Campusano hit before, but I've never seen somebody else with that same hand location. It's just odd. He's right in front of his face, almost like it's in front of his right eye.
0-2. In the dirt, Jansen takes it off the chest, chases it down up the first base line. And Ha-Seong Kim stays put at first base. While it might look a little bit awkward, it has been pretty solid for Luis Campusano, who took over this season as full-time catcher for the Padres. 1-2. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Last year, he appeared in 49 games, hit almost .320 with 7 homers and 30 RBIs in those 49 games. Off to a slower start this year, especially power-wise, just 1 home run. Runner on first, 2 down, 2-2. Bounce to short. Bichette backs up, picks it up, backhanded flip over to Schneider at second to end the inning. Tim Meza comes in and does the job. 3 straight outs, strands the leadoff walk, and sends us to the 8th inning. 5-1 Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Harry Kane finishes off the game.
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
And it's gone!
Jays fans, this is John Schneider, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
There's the exclamation point for all assembled here at Rogers Center.
Join in on Friday, May 10th to celebrate Cricket Night at the park, presented by TD, filled with cricket activities throughout the ballpark, including cricket batting cages and celebrating Canada qualifying for the World Cup. Plus, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays white cricket hat giveaway. Visit bluejays.com/cricket to get your ticket today. Davis Schneider leads off the top of the 8th, takes ball 1 high. 1-0 from Kolek is high again, 2-0. Couple changes on the defensive side for the Padres after a pair of pinch hitters in the bottom of the 7th. It's 5-1 Blue Jays, top of the 8th. 2-0 to Schneider. Off the handle foul, 2-1. Luis Campusano stays in to catch after pinch hitting for Kyle Higashioka, and Eggy Rosario stays in at third after pinch hitting for Tyler Wade. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Schneider 0 for 3 today, 2-1. Swing and a miss at the high heat, chased a little above the zone, 2-2. Second inning of work for Kolek, who recorded 2 outs last inning, did give up a single to Bo Bichette. Righty kicks and deals, missed inside, full count. Kolek, a Dodgers draft pick in 2018. Traded to Seattle for cash, then a Rule 5 pick this year by the Padres, 3-2. Schneider fights off a fastball on the outside edge to stay alive. He'll adjust his batting gloves as he walks back to the box. Two tugs at the elbow guard, getting it a little bit higher up the arm. No sleeves under the gray jersey for Davis Schneider. 3-2. Bounce foul left side. It's been a 7-pitch battle so far. Davis Schneider against Stephen Kolek.
That just goes to show you how much the game has changed. Kolek would never have gotten to the Rule 5 draft if he was a 2008 to 2015 pitcher, a guy that throws 95, 96 with really good sink. That was unheard of to be in a Rule 5 draft in that era.
3-2, hit foul again. Yeah, I mean, even like 11th rounder out of Texas A&M, that's probably not the case.
That guy's a first rounder.
Yeah. Schneider's fouled off 3 straight 2-strike pitches, and he lifts the next 3-2, foul to the right side again.
And that's probably why guys are getting hurt. Velo is so important. If you're not a guy coming out of college throwing 97, 98, you're probably not a top 2-round pick. That's just the way the game is.
You have to go max effort. 10th pitch of the plate appearance. Schneider sprays the ball to right. That's down for a base hit. 2 hops and into the glove of Tatis. A leadoff single for Davis Schneider.
Such a good at-bat from Davis Schneider. Even that last single there, he kind of just drops the barrel and puts the bat on the baseball. Tough pitch on the outside part. 96 with good sink on the black. Nice at-bat.
First hit for Schneider in 4 attempts. Here comes Dalton Varsho, who's 0 for 3 today. But before he'll hit, the Padres are going to go to another lefty. Adrian Morejon is going to come into the game. Before he gets in, let's go to Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. Let's check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. We mentioned the NBA playoffs starting tomorrow. Of course, before we get there, the play-in tournament has to be wrapped up. Just about to get everything set here with the last couple of games. The Lakers and 76ers already in as the 7 seeds in their respective conferences. The 8 seeds will be decided tonight to wrap up the playoff field. Earlier this evening, the Heat bullying the Chicago Bulls in Miami. Miami wins 112-91, and they will be taking on the Celtics in the first round, the East #1 seed. Kings at Pelicans, the final Western Conference play-in game. New Orleans was without Zion Williamson in this one, and the winner of this game moving on to play Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder. Right now, with about 20 seconds to go in the game, the Pelicans up 103-96. And again, in the fourth quarter, Brandon Ingram with 24 points, CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, and Larry Nance, all with great games as well. And, of course, just subbing out with the last couple of seconds, Jonas Valanciunas, who's going to finish this one with a double-double. Some news from the NFL. It's not draft-related, which is scheduled for next Thursday, so we'll be keeping an eye on that over the next couple of days. But the Pagulas, the owners of the Buffalo Bills, are putting approximately 25% of the team up for sale. According to multiple reports, the firm that handled the record-breaking sale of the Broncos and the Commanders will be in charge of the transactions. And don't forget, we do have Jays Talk tonight. I will stick around solo, take your phone calls, your text after the final out, 590-590, name and location. That's the People's Text line. And I will throw out the numbers to call after this game is in the books. Blue Jays Baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the action. Here's Ben and Chris.
Thank you very much, Joe. We're here in the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Nobody out, top of the 8th inning, and left-hander Adrian Morejon is the third arm to come out of the Padres pen today. He enters with Davis Schneider on first after a single, and Dalton Varsho about to bat for the Blue Jays. Second time Varsho's faced a lefty reliever today. The pitch in there for strike one. 98 on the fastball from Morejon, who averages 97 this year.
Yeah, this will be a tough AB for Dalton Varsho, and not just Dalton Varsho, any left-handed hitter.
The 0-1. Pounded into the ground, foul, 0-2. Padres, by the way, they've gone to 2 lefties today. They still have 2 more lefties in their bullpen. They do have an extra guy in the pen right now, but Gillespie, the guy they just brought up, is a righty. They had 4 lefties in the pen. 0-2. Bounced away from the plate. Schneider takes off as that ball rolls away from Camposano. Throw to second. They got him. Schneider pointing to the dugout. He thinks he beat it. He slid kind of wide of the bag to the outfield side of it. But that was a bit of a gamble there, as Camposano mostly blocked that ball and only had to go a few steps to pick it up.
From up here, it looked like he was out.
Yeah, and Gil Kim giving the signal to John Schneider to continue this game.
Yeah, Camposano making a great play, blocking that baseball with his glove and then jumping on the baseball, throwing a perfect strike to second base. And clearly getting Davis Schneider. Davis Schneider made a good play to try to slide to the outside of that base, but he was out.
Varsho now swings and misses at the 1-2, and that's two very quick outs. Adrian Morejon coming in and recording 2 outs and 4 pitches with the help of his catcher. So now with the bases empty and 2 down, here's Danny Jansen. 5-1 Blue Jays, top of the 8th. The left on right pitch. Bounced and picked by Camposano. 1-0. Jansen with a double and a run scored today. 1 for 3. 1-0. He ropes the ball past the diving third baseman Rosario. It's rolling into the left field corner. Jansen tears around first. He's headed for second. He'll stop there with a stand-up double. Make it a 2-double day for Danny Jansen.
Jansen absolutely ripped that baseball into the corner in left field. That was a hard fastball, 98. The first pitch was a slow curveball. It's almost like Jansen knew what was coming. He was sitting on that heater. It was right down the middle, and he did not miss it. Ripped it into the corner.
Danny Jansen likes to get out in front, but to pull a 98-mile-per-hour fastball down the line.
He was guessing.
It's still impressive, even if you are guessing. First pitch to Cavan Biggio, misses away, 1-0. Still have the bat speed to do that. That's Jano's game. 2 doubles today. Biggio up. He walked and scored in the second. 2 strikeouts since. Runner on second, 2 down, and the 1-0. Swing and a miss.
And just like it was a tough AB for Dalton Varsho, this will be a tough AB for Cavan Biggio, another left-handed hitter.
It's the second time he's had to face a lefty today. Both he and Varsho saw Tom Cosgrove, as did Kevin Kiermaier, who's hitting 9th. 1-1. Nice fastball on the outside edge. It's 1-2.
Really have to concentrate on going the other way. You can't pull off against lefties, especially guys with this kind of velo.
Morejon has had some successful years for the Padres. Injuries have gotten in the way the last couple years. We'll look at second, the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Painted a fastball on the corner. Biggio swings through it, and 2 strikeouts for Morejon. Jansen doubles. There was also a single earlier from Davis Schneider. Blue Jays leave one on. They lead 5-1, middle of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Think 2-minute-truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute-truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Deep clean your home from top to bottom. Save $150 on the cordless Dyson V11 Plus vacuum. Today's showstopper at TSC. With up to 60 minutes of runtime, this vacuum quickly switches to handheld mode so you can clean up the trickiest of messes. Save $150 and get the Dyson V11 Plus vacuum for just $649.99 today only. And enjoy interest-free easy pay and free shipping. Shop exciting offers every day at tsc.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
A drive to deep center field. Trout at the wall and watches it sail.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Bottom of the 8th at Petco Park, the Blue Jays leading the Padres 5-1, and Toronto will reach into its bullpen for a third reliever. It's the right-hander, Jimmy Garcia. John Schneider calling on the most dominant reliever he's had so far this season, with the top of the order coming up for the Padres, Xander Bogaerts, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Jake Cronenworth. Bogaerts 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. Garcia delivers home and hits the zone with a slider for strike 1.
Yeah, Jimmy Garcia has a .35 whip. Walks and hits per innings pitched.
The 0-1. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That just tells you how dominant he's been. A dominant pitcher generally has a whip under 1, and his is .35.
Yeah. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 95 right over the heart of the plate. 1-2.
And it's not so much the stuff, although the stuff is incredible from Jimmy Garcia. It's the command and the location.
He's got 5 different pitches as well. 1-2. Foul ball. Bogaerts fouled it off his own foot and started running. It was almost like his body acted kind of before he realized what happened. He stopped after a step or two, picked up his bat, and heads back to the plate as Garcia palms up a new baseball.
And the way Garcia palms up that baseball, rubs the baseball, it's so intimidating.
Oh, yeah. Squints his eyes as he looks in. Comes set now at the bell. The 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Top 2 buttons on the jersey, unbuttoned for Garcia, revealing a blue undershirt. Sleeves peeking out from under his gray jersey as well. 2-2 to Bogaerts. Popped up behind the plate. 97 from Garcia, who's heating up a little bit here through 6 pitches.
He threw that fastball exactly where Danny Jansen wanted it. Danny Jansen showed that elevated target, and Jimmy Garcia hit him right in the glove. Xander Bogaerts just fouled it back.
Garcia waves off 1 pitch, now becomes set. 2-2. Called strike 3. Dropped the breaking ball on the outside edge. Bogaerts saying that's 2 because he got rung up on a tough one last time. That one, though, definitely in the zone, and a great pitch from Jimmy Garcia.
Well, the one he got rung up on from Bowden Francis was not a strike, but that one was. Jimmy Garcia just dots up that glove of Danny Jansen. Xander Bogaerts doesn't like it, but that was on the black. Great pitch.
First pitch to Tatis, a backdoor sinker for strike 1. Tatis responsible for the lone run today for the Padres, a solo home run in the 3rd. 0-1. Down and in. He also walked in the 1st, and he lined a ball in the 6th that Dalton Varsho had to slide into to make the catch. One. Fouled off, 1-2.
And he's tried to go in twice with a fastball. I would say just elevate a fastball here, and probably you'll swing through it.
5-1 Blue Jays, 1 out, bottom 8. The 1-2. Went with the elevated fastball, a little too high. Tatis never really made a serious offer at it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, if you're going to throw that elevated fastball, it has to be at least competitive. Like letters is probably about as high as you'd go. That ball right there was at the head.
Next offering. Off the end of the bat, foul. Dropped that sweeper on the outside corner, and Tatis just fought it off. After every pitch, Tatis motioning with his lead left arm. When it was inside, he was kind of motioning his arm inside. When the pitch was outside, extending it, trying to get that swing path down. Here comes the 2-2 again. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tied him up with 97 at the top of the zone. 2 down.
And when they tried to go up on that previous pitch, that's exactly where they should have. He should have thrown it up and in, ties him up. That fastball was almost at the hands of Tatis. 97 with some run. Nobody's hitting that.
Back-to-back Ks for Garcia, who now takes on left-handed hitting Jake Cronenworth. First pitch breaking ball, called strike 1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Blue Jays up 5-1, home half of the 8th. 2 down. Nobody on the bases for the Padres, the 0-1. Off the end of the bat, foul, 0-2. Cronenworth singled to center field his last time up. He's 1 for 3 today. Asks for time. He's got a front left hand guard that he's adjusting right now. It's kind of just like a pad. It's not tape, but it looks like it's just taped around his hand. Just his elbow guard as well, and is back and ready to go. 0-2. Fastball high, 1-2.
Danny Jansen actually tapped the ground, faking that back foot slider, and then they threw a fastball up.
It's interesting. No one's on base. But in theory, I guess base coaches could see what's going on, could relay signals. 1-2. High heat, hit back into the netting.
Yeah, you never know who's yelling, who's whistling, who's tapping, and something that
Even with the pitch calm, got to protect your pitch calls at times. Garcia looking to strike out the side. 2 down, 1-2 count. He rears back and fires. Missed outside. Threw the changeup, which he doesn't throw a ton, but will use against left-handed hitters like Cronenworth.
Well, now it's in the back of his head. I would come upstairs with a fastball again.
Cronenworth with a practice swing. One more. Raises his bat high. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Jansen applies the tag on the breaking ball that landed in the dirt, and Jimmy Garcia strikes out the side in the 8th. We go to the 9th with the Blue Jays up 5-1. IKF, Kiermaier, and Bichette to hit when we return. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hear every game of the NBA playoffs on Sirius XM as Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets try to fend off challengers to their crown.
Back over to Jokic in a deep 3. Yes!
Don't miss a second of the action all the way through the NBA Finals.
Leads for Tatum, flies in for the 2-hand slam.
Listen to home and away broadcasts of every game on the all-new Sirius XM app. And throughout the playoffs, get closer to the storylines that matter on NBA Radio, Channel 86.
Each night after the horn sounds, NBA Radio has you covered with the best analysis of all the games.
When healthy, they check a lot of boxes.
We'll break down the playoff action.
Durant, left wing 3 again. This one goes again. All net for Kevin Durant.
And take you inside the locker room to hear from the players and coaches.
I thought it was our most connected game. Defensively, we're so physical.
Hear the NBA Radio Playoffs postgame show every night throughout the postseason on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
Jays fans, this is George Springer, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
George Springer, airborne, snatches it out of the sky.
Stone.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa leading off for the Blue Jays in the top of the 9th, and the first pitch is outside 1-0. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Nick Blackmore, our producer today. Tom Young, our technical director. Show Ali, our host, and he'll host Jays Talk after the game as well. There was a pitch clock violation, I believe, so the next pitch is line to right field, and that's going to bounce and get by Tatis all the way to the wall. IKF around first, he's around second, headed to third, and he'll slide in with a Little League triple. The second pitch Morahone threw of the inning was hit weakly to right. Tatis charged it, and then he looked kind of in between whether he was going to dive or pull up, and it just bounced right by him, rolled all the way to the wall, and it looks like for now they're going to give him a triple.
Yeah, he broke in really hard. He thought he had a play on it, and then the short hop kind of caught him off guard, and the ball goes all the way to the wall. Kiner-Falefa ends up at third base. Could be an error. Didn't hit him. Went right by him.
Kiermaier up, takes strike one. Next pitch, he reaches out and slices it foul, 0-2. I mean, it's a lot easier to play official score from here than actually do it. I would lean error for that play, because I think that's probably a single most times. Like, he didn't touch it, but it was because he whiffed on it. 0-2. High, ball one. But hey, first triple of the season for IKF.
I also don't know the technicalities with scorekeeping.
Well, it's a subjective art.
Exactly.
Yeah. The 1-2. Down and away. So while I might not agree with it, or I might not have scored it the same, I certainly don't disagree with giving IKF a triple. I mean, how many guys hit triples all that often? Kiermaier might have had 6 of them, I think, last year, but most guys don't. 2-2 to Kiermaier. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Another tough AB for Kiermaier. He's frustrated. You can see it on his face. He's faced some tough lefties over the last little while.
Tough in general for the lefties. They get the knuckleballer, and then they get lefties twice through. Going to be another pitching change here. After Morhone faces the last lefty in the Blue Jays order, they'll go to the pen with the top of the order coming up and a runner on third, one down, top of the ninth. Let's go to today's host once more. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, guys. And before we check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, another reminder that we do have Jays Talk this evening. I will stick around solo tonight to take your phone calls and your text after the final out, 590-590, name and location. That is the People's text line, and I will throw out the numbers to call after the final out. You want to talk about Jimmy Garcia being filthy. You want to talk about the start from Yariel Rodriguez, Bowden Francis, the offense, anything you want to talk about, we can do so. 590-590, name and location. And again, I'll throw out the numbers to call after this game is in the books. In the world of basketball, the playoffs start tomorrow, and now the field has been set. I mentioned this earlier, the Lakers and 76ers, they were already in as the 7 seeds in their respective conferences. The Heat, earlier this evening, they did bully Chicago in Miami. They win 112-91, and they'll be taking on the Celtics in the first round. The East #1 seed, Kings at Pelicans, was the final Western Conference play-on game. New Orleans without Zion Williamson, but no problem for them. Pelicans win 105-98. They move on to play the Thunder in the first round. If we look ahead to tomorrow, Magic Cavaliers Game 1 will be on Sportsnet 1 at 1 Eastern tomorrow afternoon. At 3:30 Eastern, you'll be able to watch Suns Timberwolves Game 1 as well. That'll be on Sportsnet 1 and Sportsnet Ontario. And some non-playoff news. For the Raptors fans out there, Yuta Watanabe making some news tonight. He revealed earlier this evening via Instagram that he plans to go back to Japan next season. So best of luck to Yuta, who heads back home. Blue Jays Baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the game. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thanks, Joe. We're here in the Timber Mart broadcast booth, and Logan Gillespie, right-hander for the Padres, is about to make his season debut. 5 games at AAA, and he's given up 5 runs across 5 innings so far. He was called up when Yu Darvish was placed on the injured list, and now he'll come in, have a tough first batter to face in his season debut. Here's Bo Bichette. Runner on third, 1 out, 5-1 Blue Jays, top of the ninth. And the righty's pitch. Fastball for strike 1. Funky delivery from Gillespie, who sets super low below the belt, and it looks like really hides the ball as he slide steps and jerks toward the plate. 0-1. Bichette fouls it off, 0-2.
But still, good velo. So he hides it, and there's good velo. So a tough AB for Bo Bichette.
Mid-90s fastball for the right-hander Gillespie. Slider change, curve as well. 0-2. Went with the slider, and Bichette checks his swing appeal to first. He did go around. Bo retired, and there are 2 down. 2 outs at the top of the ninth. Blue Jays trying to cash in the leadoff triple from Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. And warming up in the Blue Jays pen in right field, Jordan Romano. The closer potentially coming in, or will come into a non-save situation if he starts the inning. First pitch to Vladdy. Fastball, bottom of the zone, strike 1. 2 hits for Vlad today. Neither of them pummeled, but hits nonetheless. 1 RBI as well. The 0-1. Down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Guerrero pointing his bat up toward the sky, shaking his hips a little bit, getting his feet ready in the box. Now grips his bat with 2 hands. 1-1. Fouled off, 1-2.
And that average is slowly creeping up now to 227.
It's getting better. It was in the 100s for a while, and because he's walked so much, the on-base percentage, 356.
That's the great thing about Vlad. He's always getting on base.
Runner on third, the 1-2. Called strike 3. Front door slider freezes Guerrero, and after the triple by Kiner-Falefa, 3 strikeouts in a row for the Padres pen. They keep the San Diego deficit at 4. It's 5-1 Blue Jays. We're going to the bottom of the ninth with Jordan Romano taking the mound. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
When you have an iconic look like Danny Jansen, picking new glasses can be tough.
Too big, too small, too cool, too much, too 90s, too futuristic. I think I'm just going to stick with the originals. These are working just fine.
He is really seeing the ball well.
Your friends will do a double take when they see you in your Danny Jansen new blue replica jersey and glasses.
And he's got some style.
On Monday, April 29th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Jano bundle. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Sprinting back, Varsho curling at the track. He leaps, and he made the catch!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you at Baseball Control. Jays lead the Padres 5-1 as we head to the bottom of the ninth inning at Petco Park in San Diego. A reminder that despite the late hour, we do have Jays Talk this evening. I will stick around solo to take your phone calls and texts after the final out. 590-590, name and location. That is the People's Text line. I will throw out the numbers to call after the final out. You want to chat the offense? The start from Y-Rod, which we will make happen. The bullpen usage. More filth from Jimmy Garcia. Tim Meza looking better. Let's discuss it all on Jays Talk. Blue Jays Baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Jays lead 5-1 in the bottom of the ninth inning. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thanks, Joe. Jordan Romano on the mound. Second appearance of the season for the Blue Jays all-star closer, a two-time all-star. Markham, Ontario's own, is going to get a new baseball before he gets underway here. He's trying to finish up this ball game where the Blue Jays lead 5-1. Bottom of the ninth inning, Manny Machado, Jurickson Profar, Ha-Seong Kim scheduled to hit for the Padres. Romano dangling the ball down near his ankles. Now comes set. His first pitch to Manny Machado. Slider waved at and missed. Strike one. Pitch started at the knees and ended at the ankles. Ugly swing from Machado.
Good hard slider. Manny Machado nodding his head.
Machado 0 for 3. A strikeout, 2 groundouts. The 0-1. Peter hit well to center field. Kiermaier back at the wall, makes the catch. Backpedaling on the track. Probably had about 4 or 5 feet of space in front of the wall. One down. It seemed there like Machado might have known what was coming there after the slider low. An experienced hitter like him was all over that high fastball.
Yeah, he was right on it. Elevated fastball right at the belt. He's such a good hitter.
Machado down, though. His day 0 for 4 right now. Here's Jurickson Profar to pitch. High and outside, 1-0. Profar singled, struck out, and lined out today in 3 at-bats. 5-1 Blue Jays. Bases empty. Bottom of the ninth. Romano steps back, twists his hips, takes a breath, kicks and fires. Swing and a miss on a slider, 1-1. Even that kind of backup slider to the right side looked like it had a lot of drop on it.
Yeah, the action downward is very good right now. Even that first one to Manny Machado was disgusting.
The 1-1. Fastball hit foul, 1-2. First appearance for Romano was on Tuesday. Picked up his first save of the year. Did allow a run, had some trouble second and third with just 1 out that inning, but got out of it with a pair of ground balls. Blue Jays beat the Yankees that day 5-4. 1-2. Peter way too high above the eye line of Jurickson Profar.
Yeah, they were trying to elevate there. Danny Jansen's target was up. Jordan Romano throws it almost head high.
The 2-2. Off the handle, a grounder to second. Shuffling to his left. Picked up by Schneider. Pumps, throws. And Profar is retired. Padres down to their final out here. Blue Jays leading 5-1 in the bottom of the ninth. Here comes Ha-Seong Kim. 0 for 2, a strikeout, a flyout, and a walk. Another impressive, although brief start today from Yariel Rodriguez. He went 4 innings for the Blue Jays, struck out 7, allowed just 3 hits and 1 run, the solo shot to Fernando Tatis Jr. And early runs have put the Blue Jays in front. First pitch to Kim. Slider low, 1-0. The third batter of the game, Justin Turner, who was hated in San Diego for his days with the Dodgers, smoked a ball 404 feet over the center field wall to open the scoring. Romano set, 1-0. Fastball in there, strike 1.
And to be clear, Justin Turner is hated because he's good, not because he did anything wrong.
They don't. Very few players are hated if they're not good. You have to do something. And he has done plenty in his career, especially to the San Diego Padres. 1-1. Downstairs, 2-1. Blue Jays would add to their run total in the second. Turner got involved, but it was Jansen with a double, Biggio with a walk, Kiermaier with a double, Bichette with a single, Vlad with a single, Turner with a single. All 9 went up to the plate in the second. The 2-1. Slider hits the top of the zone, strike 2, and the Padres down to their final strike. 5-1 Blue Jays, bottom of the 9th, 2-2 count and 2 outs. Kim taps the plate. Holds his bat straight up, pitter-pattering his feet back and forth a little bit, bouncing on that front left foot now. The 2-2 pitch. Good take by Kim. Slider low and away.
A ton of sliders from Jordan Romano. Nothing new.
Fastball slider is his mix. It's a mid to high 90s fastball and a mid to high 80s slider. Full count now with 2 outs. Jackson Merrill on deck. Romano's pitch. Fastball line to right field. Down in front of Biggio for a base hit.
That fastball there just caught a little bit too much of the plate. Kim was protecting, and he kind of just dumped it into right field.
So the Padres have another life here, down to their final strike. Kim delivers. It's his first hit of the day. Here comes Jackson Merrill, who doubled in the second, struck out in the fourth, and flied out in the 7th. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. talking with Ha-Seong Kim, but he's not going to hold him on. He'll play behind him with the Blue Jays up 5-1. Runner on first, 2 down, bottom 9. The pitch from Romano. Off the end of the bat. Loop to left and slicing into the seats, foul. Kim got running before he even had his sliding mitts fully on there, adjusting them as he was running back. They're just dangling off the ends of his hands. Blue Jays shift the left-handed hitter to pull. IKF, the third baseman, in, wary of the bunt. The 0-1. Kim takes off, and it's fouled off, 0-2. So once again, the Padres down to their final strike in game 1. Blue Jays leading 5-1. Mentioned the good start, the early rally. Also some great defense from Toronto today. 2 very nice plays where Dalton Varsho left his feet to make catches. Once taken away extra bases from Bogarts, once from Tatis. 0-2 to Merrill. High, ball 1, and Kim's going to take second on defensive indifference. So now a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Romano reaching down to the mound, looking down, has the signal in the set, twists his hips, looks at second, and fires the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on the slider. Jansen applies the tag, and that's the ball game. Blue Jays come to San Diego and win game 1. 5-1. They dominate after taking the early advantage.
Well, that was a total team effort. Obviously, it started with Yariel Rodriguez and Justin Turner with the solo home run in that first inning. But the bullpen was lights out. Bowden Francis, Tim Meza, Jimmy Garcia, and then Jordan Romano in that 9th inning. The thing that I'm most excited about is Jordan Romano looked like himself. He was throwing that upper 90s fastball, mid to upper 90s fastball, and that slider was falling off the table, downward action as opposed to that horizontal action.
Not a save, but he still closes out the game for the Blue Jays, and they are up to 11-9 on the season. It's plenty late enough, so we'll take a quick break, come back, wrap this one up, and send you off to a winning edition of Blue Jays Talk with Show Ali. Blue Jays win 5-1 over the San Diego Padres. Stick around. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bases loaded. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays win 5-1 at Petco Park. They take the opening game of a 3-game series from San Diego with a great all-around effort. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Let's take a look back at this one. We're talking about it a little bit in the ninth, but Yariel Rodriguez makes his second start after going 3 1/3 with 1 run against Colorado. This a much tougher offense, at least the numbers would say that, in the San Diego Padres. Came into today with the most runs scored in all of baseball and top 10 in runs per game. And he looked just as dominant. 4 innings for Rodriguez, just over 80 pitches, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. They really couldn't touch him aside from the Tatis homer.
Yeah, he looked great. I think his fastball, although he threw 83 pitches over just 4 innings, I think that needs to be cleaned up just a little bit. But this lineup, this San Diego Padres lineup, you mentioned it. It's a great lineup. So it's a tough lineup to navigate. So your pitch count probably will be elevated anyways naturally. I think that 4 innings, maybe 65 or 70 pitches would have been about right. 83 is still pretty elevated, even against a great lineup. But he was great. His fastball was great. His slider, his curveball, everything from my eyes looked like a big leaguer. He was throwing backdoor breaking balls. He was throwing breaking balls behind in the count. That's what I wanted to see before the game started. I wanted to see the pitchability more so than him just throwing like a reliever, and today he did that.
After throwing only 5 splitters in his first start, he threw 14 of them in this start, really upped the usage, mixed it up a little bit more. And maybe the brightest moment of the game for him, after Jurickson Profar singled to start the second, he struck out Ha-Seong Kim, and then a ground ball from Jackson Merrill to first. Guerrero dove, and it actually burst through his glove into right field, not only preventing the out, but it slowed down in right because it had hit or gone through Vladdy's glove. That turned it into a double, second and third with 1 out. He got a very shallow fly ball and a strikeout to strand both runners. On the other side, the Blue Jays did a lot of work for Yariel Rodriguez. It started with Justin Turner, who set the table with a homer in the first. Then the Blue Jays had a big rally in the second. All 9 came up to the plate. Danny Jansen double, Kevin Biggio walk. Kiermaier would drive both of them in. After Bo Bichette picked up an infield single, the bats just kept on going for our play of the game. A lot of fiddling in the glove for Waldron, who kicks and fires. First pitch is lifted to shallow center. That's going to drop in front of Merrill for a base hit. Kiermaier is in to score. Bichette all the way around to third. Not a big drive from Guerrero, who's shaking his right hand. He got stung on that one, but it's an RBI single, and it's 4-0 Blue Jays. The 1-2. Turner lines the ball to center. That's down for a base hit. Bichette will jog home. Guerrero up to second. It's another hit and another RBI for Turner, and it's 5-0 Toronto.
4 guys in this lineup had 2 hits today. Bo Bichette, 2 for 5. Vlad, 2 for 5. Justin Turner with that solo homer, he was 2 for 4. And Danny Jansen was 2 for 4. I think the most important thing in this game was Danny Jansen. He needs to get rolling. He needs to be the guy that the Blue Jays can rely on, a power-hitting catcher, a guy that drives this offense. He's a guy that could have 25 homers. If healthy for a full season, he's a 25-homer guy, and this is just the start of his season. 2 for 4 tonight. He looked really, really good.
Yeah, he was great. He started that whole inning. Justin Turner kept doing what he was doing, and you're starting to see maybe some numbers normalize a little bit for Bichette and Guerrero, who you mentioned. A nod to Dalton Varsho in this game, who came up with 2 big catches. The first batter that Yariel Rodriguez faced, Xander Bogaerts, hit a ball 411 feet to left center, and Varsho leaped backwards, slammed into the wall, and made the catch out there for the first out of Rodriguez's outing. That really set the tone. He made another great play sliding in left as well.
Yeah, I mean, even though he's not always on at the plate, he's always doing something during the game. He made that great play. Kevin Kiermaier had both his arms up. Yariel Rodriguez. You could just tell that everybody was pumped up and uplifted after that play. And then he made that diving catch down the line that probably would have been hard for most left fielders to make. But for Dalton Varsho, it's almost an easy play.
Blue Jays win off the back of an early rally, great pitching, and great defense as well. 5-1 is the final score. Toronto scores 5 runs on 11 hits, no errors, 6 left on. The Padres, 1 run on 5 hits, no errors, 6 left on as well. The win today goes to Bowden Francis in relief, as Rodriguez did not go 5 innings to qualify. Matt Waldron picks up the loss. Francis now 2-2, Waldron 0-2. Nobody gets the save. Jordan Romano closed out the game, but in a non-save situation. This one started at 9:40, went 2 hours and 57 minutes into the wee hours of the morning on the East Coast in front of a crowd of almost 45,000 at beautiful Petco Park. The Blue Jays win 5-1. They go to 10-9. For the San Diego Padres, the loss actually drops them back to 500. The Padres, who are jockeying with Arizona and LA atop the NL West, go to 11-11 on the season. An opportunity, though, for both teams, the Padres to try and mix it up and the Blue Jays to try to keep it going tomorrow. We know the Blue Jays will throw Jose Barrios tomorrow after the Yu Darvish injury. Unclear who will start for the Padres, but that one goes down at 8:40, tune in at 8 for pregame, and as always, there will be Jays Talk after the game as well. Really appreciate you tuning in tonight from wherever you are. If you're on the West Coast and some better hours right now, that's probably good. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. For our technical director, Tom Young, our producer, Nick Blackmore, and our host, Show Ali, along with my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a good night. Stick around. Get your calls in. Get your texts in as Jays Talk After Dark with Show Ali starts right now.
All right, our first 2024 edition of Jays Talk After Dark. On the air, Show Ali with you. We're live on the Sportsnet Radio Network, on sportsnet.ca, and on the Sportsnet app. Jays 5-1 winners over the Friars to start this series in San Diego. Hey, if you're still awake, and I know people are not only listening to this on the East Coast, where I am, but still, if you are still awake anywhere, give me a call, 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell. You can text me as well, 590-590, name and location. The People's Text line, everyone, as I always like to say, is always open. And I gotta say, I want to start, I was kind of debating on whether I wanted to start with the offense or if I wanted to start with the pitching. And I think early in this game, I was leaning offense, but after they scored 5 runs in 2 innings and then no runs for the rest of the game, I think it's probably more astute to start with the pitching. And let's face it, the entire pitching staff was amazing today, right? Yariel Rodriguez in his second start. So we knew coming into this game that his pitch count was largely going to be around 80 pitches-ish. And again, similarly to last time out at the Rogers Center, I was somewhat hoping for 4 1/3, maybe 4 2/3. at the most generous interpretation of what 80-ish pitch count could mean. And if he had given up like 3 to 4 runs, I'd probably have largely been okay with it. And I bet a lot of you guys would have been too. But today, 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, which was earned. It was a solo home run given up to Fernando Tatis Jr., 1 walk, 7 strikeouts on 83 pitches thrown. So after that start, and this was a stat that Sportsnet Stats dug up, Jays starters have allowed 1 earned run or fewer in 6 straight games, which is phenomenal to hear after the uneven start, let's call it, to the year for everyone whose name is not Jose Barrios. It's funny because the usage for Y-Rod, and we are going to make that happen, it does somewhat remind me of the conversations we used to have on Jays Talk about Kikuchi, actually, right? When he first signed with the Jays, you guys remember that? We'd often talk about, like, do you only let Kikuchi see the opposing order twice and that's it? How strict should the Jays be with that? Where, those were the chats that we were having on the show. And again, very similar for Rodriguez early on, which largely makes sense, but he was very effective those 2 times through the order. I had made the observation the last time out at the Rogers Center that he had seemed so unflappable. Like, he seemed like a guy who does not get all that bothered by base runners. And we heard on Jays Talk Plus from Kalen McGrath, who had spoken with Blake Murphy earlier this morning, that even though he is a rookie in the sense that he's never pitched in the majors before, that he's still well traveled, right? That's a word from John Schneider. He's pitched in high leverage for the Chunichi Dragons in Japan. So his resting heart rate is in fact relatively low. He's been a pitcher since he was like 16 or 17 years old, which is something that is, just generally speaking, the experience always pretty valuable for anyone, for any leverage innings, relievers or starters certainly. But Y-Rod has been great. I actually wanted to zoom into that second inning from Yariel Rodriguez, but after the Vladdy glove mishap, and I see a text here on that actually, so we'll chat about that in a sec, but after the glove mishap, Jackson Merrill had some great base running to get to second base, so give the guy some credit. But now Rodriguez has runners on second and third, 1 out. So he gets Tyler Wade to fly out by getting Wade to swing at the slider, and a 7-pitch AB for Higashioka, who has done some damage against the Jays in the past as a Yankee. And another Y-Rod slider gets Higashioka to end the inning. And so he leaves after getting runners on second and third with 1 out. He ends that inning with no damage done. Right? Very impressive stuff after those runners were both in scoring position. Great piece of pitching from Rodriguez, who I remain very impressed by. And don't get me wrong, I don't mean to say it was all perfect. The guy hung his fair share of sliders today. He definitely got away with it a couple of times. He did not get away with it in the second AB to Tatis Jr., who absolutely tattooed that ball for a home run. Man, he's playing really well to start the season. So anyways, I want to give Rodriguez his flowers. I know it's kind of a tired phrase, but he has pitched well enough that I think he deserves to get praised. And for a guy who is not a journeyman, but a guy who has really not pitched all that much in North America, period, for him to start this way, gotta say, been very impressed. Very impressed, and I look forward to seeing what he has going forward. I still don't think it's entirely settled whether or not Y-Rod is going to be a high-leverage reliever going forward, or if he is going to be stretched out to be a starter. They're clearly trying him as a starter. I don't think that story is completely told yet, but it's not exactly something you have to decide right now. Let's check out the text line, 590-590, name and location if you want to give me a call, certainly as well. 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell phone. I mean, it's pretty late again, so if you want to, it's easier to give me a text, 590-590. You are certainly welcome to. I see a number of texts about the bullpen, and I'm just going to read a couple of them for you guys. I see one here from Luke in New Hamburg. Jimmy is like a video game pitcher right now. He just painted whatever Jano put down for him tonight. I know it's early, but I feel we could have an epic pen this year. I see a text from, let's see, Peter in East Gwillimbury. Oh, and Peter from EG, who clarifies that it means East Gwillimbury. I actually appreciate that, Peter, because I kind of just assume. So thank you. Peter says, the main reason I tune into these days is to see Jimmy. It's a master class with every outing. I hope it's a true adjustment and not a vibe thing. Y-Rod was great as well. And I see here Tango in Ottawa. That's a great name. Great to see the bullpen have a good bounce back performance, albeit it's not the Yankees. But you know what? That is true. That is very true. But at the same time, the Padres are pretty good. Right? I mean, you got to acquit yourself pretty well against certainly Jake Cronenworth on one hand, but Fernando Tatis Jr. Xander Bogaerts had a tough start to the year. It's very true as well, but still you can't be completely afraid of a guy who we in Toronto know very well after his many years as a Red Sox player. But Bogaerts, Tatis, Cronenworth, Ha-Seong Kim has been excellent this year. Manny Machado, can't forget about this guy. They have a lot of really dangerous batters. So I think the bullpen for them to be playing this well is very impressive. And I mean, you look at the guys who we saw today. So we got to see Bowden Francis, Tim Meza, Jimmy Garcia, and Jordan Romano. And Francis being lined up with Rodriguez for now, I think is a good thing. His stuff just looks a little crisper as a reliever, which is good to see. And when I see Francis as a reliever achieve some success, it's hard not to think back to last year, if you guys remember, when he was very effective in that role, especially down the stretch of the 2023 season. I gotta say, I love watching, he's very tall, right? I love watching his lanky frame deliver the curveball. He's, on most of his pitches, he has kind of like the downward action on a lot of his pitches because he's so tall. But on the curveball, he just drops it in there, usually in the upper half of the strike zone. He got to see the Padres order just the one time, and maybe right before he got yanked, some luck in the last couple of outs he got as well, especially with some help from Dalton Varsho, to be sure. But I don't know, probably the best thing not to overexpose Francis to those guys we just mentioned. Again, they're a team that can really bat people around if they really want to. So a great move to go to the bullpen. And then, yeah, we got to see all the highest leverage relievers as well today. Tim Meza, Jimmy Garcia, Jordan Romano. Meza, I loved to see him continue to look like himself. Right? He had a really rough spring. He had a rough start to the regular season, and no one starts the regular season in mid-season form, obviously, but he looked like he had almost taken a step back after being a guy in, like you guys know, I like to use the term circle of trust. He's usually like right in the circle of trust, and he wasn't anywhere close to the circle of trust to start the year. This last time out, he looked pretty good. Tonight, again, looked very good, made short work of the Padres batters. Loved seeing the pitch to Rosario. The 3-2 sinker he delivers, and he gets Rosario to just swing right through that thing. And I think it was like an 8 or 9 pitch AB, and he just threw sinker after sinker. It was like slider, sinker, slider, sinker. It was great. So great to see Tim Meza work his way back into the towards maybe the inner circle of trust after that rough spring. But guys, as you correctly point out, how can we not talk about the bullpen and not get to Jimmy Garcia? He is just filthy. I'm happy because I think I've been a pretty big Jimmy Garcia booster in his time as a Blue Jay, but he has looked so dominant in 2024. He has got to be, if you're making a list of the most dominant relievers right now on the East Coast, April 20th, if you're making a list of the most dominant relievers, Jimmy Garcia has got to be at or near the top of the list, I would think, right? Like you look at what he did tonight, dots a strike with a sweeper to Bogaerts for the first out. Felt kind of bad for Bogaerts because he clearly had no idea what was going on tonight. He had a tough night, right? I mean, the out from Francis probably didn't help, but that was absolutely in the zone from Jimmy Garcia. The sweeper gets him. Garcia gets Tatis with a 97-mile-an-hour heater right at the top of corner of the zone, second out, and then he gets the curveball, his breaking ball, gets Cronenworth the swing, Jano tags the guy at the plate, and that's the inning. Jimmy Garcia, after that inning, okay, he has retired 19 batters in a row. And that has largely been, I think this is the most impressive thing, the opposing team's most feared batters. Like, we're talking about Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Giancarlo Stanton. When they were playing the Rockies, they're talking about like Ryan McMahon and Charlie Blackmon, right? You're talking about tonight, Tatis and Bogaerts and Cronenworth. He has been so dominant. I don't know if that stays this way. I don't know. I'll admit. But he is playing out of his mind right now, and I think everyone will take it. 11 Ks from Jimmy Garcia over those 19 batters. A win, 2 saves, 2 holds mixed in there as well. Just brilliant stuff. And it's funny because by contrast, for a lot of the time, Jordan Romano has kind of made us sweat a little bit, right? You know, it gets your blood pumping. And you know what? A pretty ho-hum appearance from Jordan Romano, which I think I'll take, and I think you guys will take that as well. I guess when it's not a save situation, he doesn't get quite as Mark-a-Maniac style with things, but hey, he filled the strike zone with sliders. He got things over with the fastball, as we know. Wasn't the highest velo on the fastball we've ever seen, but still not quite as stress-inducing we've gotten from Romano in the last little while. And the fastball slider mix worked today, and I'm not going to complain. I will take it. It was nice to see Romano largely make quick work of most of the batters he faced. Let's go back to the text line. 590, name and location. I see here, Grant from Corktown. I think it's U-Rod. You know what? Actually, that actually might sound a little bit better, Grant. I kind of like it. You know what? Maybe we'll make U-Rod happen more than Y-Rod. You're probably right. I see here, Andrew in Toronto. Andrew says, and I gotta say, very appreciate all the texts from everyone on the East Coast. You guys are surprising me. I gotta say, I'm very impressed. So well done, everyone. Andrew in Toronto, we are so spoiled by our outfield. Varsho always at full speed out there. What a performance today. It's very true. The catch from Dalton Varsho in left field on the Padres' first batter, so Bogaerts, was awesome. So it was a home run in, I think, 13 of 30 ballparks, according to Baseball Savant. Petco was not one of them, obviously. You heard Ben mention it on the radio broadcast, but 411 feet he hit that ball. So obviously some luck aiding U-Rod, according to Grant, in terms of the part of the ballpark Bogaerts clubbed that to. But a great run for Varsho to get in range of that ball. I honestly don't think we talk enough about Varsho's defensive importance to this team. Like, he is basically at what? If you're looking across all of baseball, I know everyone, and I include myself in this, all of us listening, talking right now, it's not like we're watching every single outfielder on every single major league team in both the AL and the NL. But, I mean, if you're going to tell me that Varsho is any worse than, like, the third best defensive outfielder in all of baseball, I don't think I'd agree, right? He has to be third or better, I would think. Like, he made another great catch in the sixth that kind of did a little mini somersault when tumbling head over heels after sliding on his knees with the ball in his glove. And don't get me wrong, I know the bat is something we still want to see more from, right? He just missed a mammoth home run today. He didn't straighten it out enough. It was foul, but still, we did get the 2 home runs from him in the final game against the Yankees a couple of days ago. But that glove of his is always going to keep him in the conversation when it comes to the most important players on this team. And again, don't get me wrong, I'm not making excuses. Like, you need a lot more offense from him, and you can't overlook that. But as someone who's gotten a lot of Varsho shares on the mind this year, it's very encouraging to have gotten what we got over the last, what do you want to call it, the last week after a very slow start to the year. Chris Black, who's one of our producers extraordinaire at Sportsnet on the TV side, he tweeted this out during the game, which I thought was phenomenal. On a rate basis, Dalton Varsho is the best outfielder in the defensive runs saved era. So if this is the outfield defensive runs saved per 100 innings since 2003. Okay, since 2003, Dalton Varsho ranks at the top of the list with 2.112 outfield defensive runs saved. Kevin Kiermaier is actually number 2 with 1.99. I don't think that really shocks anyone. Brett Phillips, who I know has made a name for himself over the years, being a defensive outfielder, 1.77. And I actually think this is equally as impressive as Dalton Varsho. Number 4 on this list is Fernando Tatis Jr. at 1.75. And the reason I think that's impressive is because if you guys remember, Tatis basically came up as a shortstop, and then after the suspension, they basically plunked him in right field. He essentially learned how to play right field out there, and instantly became like the best right fielder in all of baseball. That's pretty incredible. But then again, he is, as they say, an elite player. You know what? Let's take a very quick break. And when we come back, I want to talk about the offense. Go back to the text line. I see a whole ton of texts, and I actually see a text here from Curtis in Toronto. He wants to talk about Alek Manoah and Aurelvis Martinez, so we'll do that as well. So still some time to get your text in, 590, name and location, and we'll go back to the text line. If you want to give me a call, if it's not too late, 416-870-0590, 1-888-866-0590, star 590 on your cell. You're listening to Jays Talk After Dark. Show Ali with you on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. We're 2 men and a truck. And we've got lots of men and lots of trucks. Whether you're planning a move to a new home or to a new office down the hall, big or small, we move them all. We even sell packing and moving supplies. But no matter what you need, we'll do it with a smile. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. So So when you're planning your next move, call 2 Men and a Truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The Fork and Knifer, Splatterer, Condiment Queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world you're a Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's, every Tuesday home game.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
I put my heart on my lips. I gave it all I could give.
This is Kevin Biggio, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Yeah, it'll be tempting for sure. A lot of it depends on how he feels and how he's responding to. We don't want to get too carried away with it. I think 85 or so is probably, where we'll land. But that can change. He's kind of in uncharted waters there, for 83 pitches today, whatever it was. But if he's feeling good and throwing good, we're going to continue to ride him.
That is John Schneider chatting about Yariel Rodriguez and his 83 pitches over 4 innings. Could the Blue Jays be tempted to push past that pitch count limit? And it doesn't sound like John Schneider is seriously considering it based on what the vibe I got from what he just said. But I mean, who knows? If Yariel Rodriguez does bounce back in the next couple of days and says he's feeling good and is feeling good, no inflammation, no soreness or anything like that, maybe we do get 90 pitches or 95 pitches the next time out. Maybe that does get you to 5 1/3 or 5 2/3. But great stuff from you, Rod, today in a 5-1 Blue Jays win. You're listening to Jays Talk. Show Alley with you here on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Still some time to give me a text if you like. 590, name and location. See a text from our pal Ailish Forfar. Hey, show. Ailish in the long drive to Montreal. Been listening the whole way. Go Jays go. Leafs do the same tomorrow. I'm very happy. You were very positive, Ailish, about the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think along my long life here in Toronto has led me to believe otherwise. But I you know what? You're a very positive person, and I will be positive with you. I see a text here. Where was it? Oh, from Mike in Victoria. Mike wide awake in Victoria. So well done, Mike. He says, hey, show, MLB has been good in changing rules to adapt to the times. Maybe with pitchers not going as long, 4 innings should be an official game. A shame Rodriguez doesn't get the wing. I don't think 4 innings will ever be like an official game, but I do think there can be some kind of change given that pitchers just will never go as long as they used to. Like we're so far removed from, even like 5 years ago, we're far removed from when pitchers used to go a little longer, but we are so far removed from the days of like Greg Maddux and like Nolan Ryan throwing 1 million innings a year or whatever. So I kind of agree that MLB could change that, but it probably feels like there are lesser things. Like it's a little further down the needs list right now. I see a text here from PJ in Brampton. I like this one. Thought it was interesting how in a league where there's so much emphasis on pitchers perfecting a repeatable delivery, Yariel has multiple arm slots, hitches in his delivery that he can deploy at any time to throw the hitter's timing off. Not Nestor Cortez type antics, and you guys should see the stuff he does, but thought the dichotomy in pitching philosophies was interesting to note. I agree. And it's funny because it's not something that all the Blue Jays pitchers have, right? It's like, if you look at all the starters, like Jose Barrios, a lot of really repeatable deliveries from him, and something you like. Kevin Gossman's very similar. Chris Bassett is very similar, even though he's throwing like 8 or 9 different pitches. So, and Kikuchi certainly as well. So it's great to see a little bit of a difference with Rodriguez. I love the hitch, kind of like when he raises the leg and then almost like he waits a beat too long, then he delivers. And he doesn't do it all the time in the sense of waiting and in terms of how long that leg's up there. So I'm sure that does not help in keeping your timing correct when you are at the plate. But I think it's a great thing to note from PJ. I see Josh from Kelowna, also out west. Josh says, do you think with our pitching, it is imperative the Jays trade or acquire a power bat during the year? And then Josh also says, I think if Romano sharpens up, Garcia continues like this, that could be the best closing team in baseball. What do you think? I mean, I've long said in that perspective, Josh, that one of the things I wanted from the bullpen is seeing someone who can take some of the stressful innings, pitchers like to say that, stressful innings, off the plate of Jordan Romano. And if Jimmy Garcia is doing what he's doing, that is exactly going to be the case, which is nice because last year they had to go and get someone like Jordan Hicks to do that. And with Hicks off trying to be a starter, and I wish the guy the best of luck, you needed someone internal or they needed to go and get someone else, and they didn't do that. So nice to see Jimmy Garcia fulfilling that role internally. And I do hope he keeps it up. It probably won't be like this good all season long, but gosh, if he is anything close to this, I got to say, I will be very impressed. I wanted to talk about the offense as well. A lot of text about the offense, and 5 runs in the first 2 innings. And despite the results after the second inning, I still feel like we have not been able to say this all that often, but the Jays punished a starting pitcher early in a ball game. They ambushed him in his own ballpark. And Matt Waldron, he throws a knuckleball, and he's able to get away with lesser pitches from the rest of his arsenal because a knuckleball is so hard to corral as a batter. And I love watching a good knuckleballer. We need more of them. But the Jays just slammed his non-knuckleball pitches in that second inning. A lot of Jays hits coming off of the four-seamer and the sinker. And that's the way it usually goes. But I mean, I basically slandered Kevin Kiermaier on the pregame show, and after we maybe saw the team's worst AB of the season come from KK against Louis Seal a few days ago, he hits a Waldron sinker 103 miles an hour off the bat, slices into left center. Justin Turner shows himself to be the Jays' most important hitter again. He blasted that ball in the first inning that I honestly thought Merrill had a beat on, which in and of itself is impressive for such a young player. But Turner went on to also slap an RBI single, again off the fastball. He's such a patient hitter, which I want to see more Jays kind of encompass, but he never takes massive hacks. He waits for his pitch. I got to say, I love watching him hit far more than I ever thought I would this season. Vladdy with a nice piece of hitting in that second inning as well. And then we saw a ball go right through his glove. I think it was Terry and Kitchener who had a text about this, Terry, but goes right through his glove in the second inning. And we saw this happen a few times over the last few years. That cannot be a good ad for whoever manufactures those, like Rawlings or whoever it is, whoever manufactures his glove. He's got to get a new glove, right? I mean, how does that happen to Vladdy more than to literally anyone else? Like we were saying earlier, I don't watch every other ball game out there, but it happening more than once already seems pretty unlikely. And we can point to like 3 different examples, including tonight, where it has happened to Vladdy alone, which is truly bizarre. But Vladdy, I think with some nice hitting tonight, you hope that continues, certainly as well, especially with some tough pitches. He really muscled some balls into the outfield. So I hope we see more of that. And Jano, with his first extra base hit of the season, which was actually a home run in 4 of 30 ballparks. It was hit to the part of the ballpark that we saw Jano hit so consistently to last year, almost identical to many of his extra base hits. That's the kind of power you want from him. And in the 8th inning, he goes up there and rips one into the corner. I can't wait to see more of those from Jano when runners are actually on base. And again, in that inning, Davis Schneider caught stealing after having gotten aboard with a single. So maybe a little more of that ideally ahead of Jansen can only be a good thing for this offense. Before we go, I wanted to read this text from Curtis in Toronto, unrelated to the game. Great bounce back start from Manoah in Buffalo. Aurelus Martinez also looking great as well. It's very true. The guys look great. I mean, Pat Malacaro, voice of the Bisons, had said earlier, Manoah was looking at a pitch count of approximately 85 today. So 81 pitches took him through a full 5. He came back out for the 6th. He got 2 outs, sandwiched on a double. So his final line after 92 pitches, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, both of which were earned via 2-run bombs, 0 walks, 5 strikeouts. So his day actually started with a single and the 2-run jack, and a double. All of those came in the bottom of the first inning. So really after the first, he only allowed 3 hits and no runs for the rest of the day. Not a bad outing. Like, he used the slider for a few of those punchies. Always encouraging, because we know the slider is his put-away pitch. You got a guy swinging on the back foot slider, too, which is just filthy to watch. So great to see that pitch in particular have some bite to it. And the command was there, right? Like, how many times have we discussed Manoah just spraying the ball all over the place, nowhere near the zone? So like I said earlier, no walks and no hit batsmen. So extremely encouraging. And, I gotta say, I want to see him do it a couple more times. I don't think he needs to be like 7 innings, 1 hit every time he's playing for the Bisons, but if you can continue to build on this, you know what? Maybe we do see him pitch for the Blue Jays. Again, maybe not in the next month, but maybe after this 30-day window has closed for the Blue Jays in terms of managing his injury and the rehab starts, maybe we are able to make a more concrete decision, mid-May? And it's going to be a lot of fun. Yariel Martinez, too. 5 home runs in 5 games. He has been an absolute monster. A lot of fun to watch him. Maybe we see him make the decision in the infield a little tougher in the not-too-distant future. Hey, guys, appreciate you staying with me here on Blue Jays Baseball late tonight, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Saskatoon and Swift Current, Saskatchewan. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Your local family-owned Crown at Crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Ben Schulman, Chris LaRue, Tom Young, Nick Blackmore. I'm Show. I'm back tomorrow for more Jays Talk. Julia Kreutz will be alongside for the weekend series. Sleep fast, everyone. We'll talk to you later.
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game?
Calling this game? Calling this game?
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game! It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet! Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is Bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top!
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather. A swing and a drive to deep left center!
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play! Oh my!
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds in a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw. And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just 2 teams.
The ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no. For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer.